Dear editor, this is the murderer of the 2 teenagers last Christmas at Lake Herman and the girl on the 4th of July. He wants his code in the afternoon edition.
The Zodiac Killer has come to San Francisco.
He gave himself a name.
Oh, we got 4 crime scenes, not a single usable print.
What do you mean there's no evidence? You have him seen with the ciphers, the military blueprints, the bloody knife.
All circumstantial. Put your face out there for him to see.
Hello?
Killing is his compulsion. It drives him.
This is the Zodiac speaking.
Are you sure there's nobody else in the house?
We'll do it live.
Okay.
We'll do it live. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live.
I just love it. I had to play.
I love that.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back.
Is this thing on? Hello.
It is on. We are here. We are live. We are back after a 2-week hiatus. I miss seeing these lovely faces. I really did.
I know it's been such a long time since I've seen you. How are you, sir?
Yeah, it's been so long. It's been a long okay, anyway, enough singing.
They're married.
Back to the bottom here before, so we're gonna go back to that.
I like my women on the bottom. It's fine.
Wow. Yeah, and we're back in full. Okay, so this was a Vex suggestion and pick, and good job, Vex, because this is an
well done, movie. Vex.
Yeah,
Guys,
great way to come back into the new year.
Listen, because Vex and I are probably thinking about food or serial killers. One of the two.
Yeah, that scares me a little
or
bit.
Henry Cavill. Sorry.
Wow,
that's
usually a given. Yeah.
We can.
Yeah.
Vex.
Yeah, we picked a good one. We picked a good one. This is a movie that I literally have not seen in a long time, but it is a classic. Came out in 2007. David Fincher. I mean, great cast. Gyllenhaal, Robert Downey Jr. I mean, Brian Cox. This is amazing, amazing cast. Good movie. Probably, if you want to say, I think some of us on this panel can agree, the best true crime adaptation based off a book ever made, possibly. I mean, it's
ever.
So good.
You know what, though? I would say a close second because it was based off of a book as well. Mindhunter also, he wrote that book.
Yes. He wrote the series. Yeah,
I know it was a series, but I'm just saying that was a great.
Well, after watching this movie, a lot of his touches. I mean, you could see he just has a style, and it works well.
Fincher's good with serial killer stuff.
Yes, which kind of makes me scared about Fincher a little bit.
I think it should make you more scared of Mark Zuckerberg because he did his movie too.
Oh, that's right. Wait. Yeah, Aaron Sorkin wrote the screenplay for that, right?
That's true.
Okay. Just saying. Anyway,
Zuckerberg's sequel any day. It's gonna start killing.
It's gonna be about him being a serial killer alien. Is that what we're gonna get?
Course.
So yeah, we are excited to dive into this movie. I know there's gonna a lot of people on this panel have some interesting stuff to say. Vex, did you have something you wanted to share?
Yeah. Okay, let me.
Vex found some information about the Zodiac.
Screen. Hold on. Where is the tab? There we go. All right, let me know if you can see it.
Yeah, I got it.
Okay,
I got it.
So, I was telling Cannoli and Whitey in our chat that we've been picking some like coincidental movies lately. And lo and behold, right before the new year, skull found along highway in California's Sierra Nevada mountains in 1986 was previously linked to Zodiac Killer case is identified. So this woman, Donna Lass, she disappeared in 1970.
Oh, I've heard her name in this case before.
Yeah, she has been.
Wow.
She was named in a Zodiac letter in 1971 here. So they found her skull in 86 in a forest. And in one of the letters that had been attributed as well, he had drawn a picture and put the woods and everything. So people were wondering what was going on. But so they found the skull in 86 along Highway 20 and Interstate 80. 45 miles of south of Lake Tahoe. They just identified her. Now, this was one of those things where, because Zodiac Killer, it's said in the movie as well, like that he took, who is playing in the game in the background? I can hear too.
Yeah.
It's not me.
Somebody's got a TV
It might not
in the background.
I'm sorry. I think that might be my TV. I thought I had it quiet enough. My bad.
Michael Cera,
It's actually Zodiac.
This is the football game.
Zodiac had claimed to kill like upwards of 37 victims, and they only really conclusively linked 5 or 6, and this was one that they couldn't prove. But because it's just a skull and they have no evidence, they can't even definitively determine if Donna Lass was definitely a victim. But I thought that was pretty interesting that happened right before the new year, right before we reviewed this film. So
it seemed to be on a like you said, a nice trend where we're just picking up these movies and things are happening right before our streams. This was good, very interesting, and it's perfect timing. So here, let's do the thing with the thing here. Ooh, get right into it.
Oh, look at that
so,
thing.
The thing. Well, I'll do it with your thing, Whitey, anytime, buddy.
Oh my gosh.
How you doing?
Speaking of Zodiac. Okay, so yeah, by the way, the first thing, like you said, Fincher has a style. His movies are just dark and like, I don't know. Would you say muted color tones or is a good?
I would say muted. In this film in particular, he actually plays up the color blue quite intentionally. Since blue was also a color that had showed up in some of the ciphers, some of the letters, even just in terms of what victims were wearing and stuff, blue was a prominent color. And one of the things that David Fincher was really sure to do with this movie is he paid so much attention to detail. He interviewed like those who are still living, at least. He interviewed police officers, the detectives, even the former mayors of some of these vicinities, looked at the crime scene photos, looked at the evidence. So he, like this, if there's any film that I think stands out as one of David Fincher's best, just in terms of detail, alongside talent, I would say it's Zodiac for sure. Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
And one thing right out of the gate with this movie that it does so well, like even from this very first scene, is the way he utilizes music. Incredible job setting the various moods.
Yep.
And then the characters at the very beginning actually looking pretty darn close to the real victims.
Yeah.
Yes, which is very important. And then I love how, so I think we may have missed it in the beginning, but this is 1969. Right here, and then
is this the Michael and
Michael Mujo and
okay. I didn't know if they started because I haven't seen this in a while. So
one quick question.
Yes, ma'am.
Did anyone else grow up watching Boy Meets World?
Yes,
I did.
This Michael Mujo here is the nerdy kid.
Yes, I knew he looked familiar.
Wait, no way. I couldn't place him.
What's his name? Minx or something, like in the show?
Yes. Yeah. And he loved Topanga.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember that. Yeah.
Poor Topanga.
I was
wondering. Always wanted Topanga. Yeah. So, again, one thing Fincher's really good at is building atmosphere. Like right out of the gate here, you know what's going to happen, right? If you know the story, the background, but it's just, everything like Gore King says, from the use of music, and then Vex saying the color tones that he uses, like blues, obviously, and then just the build up, because it's, and then the part where we'll get to it here, where there's a bunch of teenagers doing stupid shit, right? I like how they throw
that's
the
a makeout point, right?
It's a makeout point.
Yeah, it's a lover's lane.
Oh, that's
right. You know what was really weird, and it's only because I've read the book like over the last few days, but what I don't understand is the fact that she, and correct me if I'm wrong, she was going out to buy fireworks and she goes to pick him up, and she's also married. So they did not play up that she was a whore and had a lot of boyfriends and the kid at home.
Wow.
They made Darlene seem like a saint, and she wasn't. She was a nice girl, but she was a floozy.
So I don't know if they go. I think they more just they didn't want to be cruel to her, but I don't know if I'd go so far as to say they made her a saint. They're just like, yeah, she was an unfortunate.
She was just there,
shooting victim, and
She does ask, "Is that your husband?"
A lot.
Because
she definitely messed around a lot.
In this scene, like, isn't he? I'm just trying to like. He's kind of like the hesitant, young kid.
Yeah.
And she's like wearing the pants in the relationship.
So at the time of the shooting, Darlene is 22 and Mike is 19. Now, I think what like to point to just like go back on Sassy's point a little bit. Whenever we get like a lot of these serial killer movies, they tend to just kind of it's always like the police finding the victims. There's really not a lead up. So I notice in this film, it's David Fincher doesn't really like in this, they play it out a little bit just to kind of introduce the movie and kind of get an idea of, you know, late 60s, early 70s. But the point of just kind of omitting kind of what all the other stuff going on in people. Sorry,
the pussies are misbehaving.
Was more to just highlight the fact that Zodiac was really at the end of the day going after very unsuspecting innocent people. So I actually appreciate that he didn't dive into that, because also the main focus throughout the film is the media circus that this ends up this really like dense and confusing mystery that it unravels to, and you can see that kind of play out in every scene.
Makes sense.
Now so this was actually technically the second set of Zodiac killings, and David Fincher said like the reason he wanted to open with this one is because the first couple, which were a pair of teenagers back in December '68, neither survived. And Mike Mageau is one of two Zodiac victims that actually survived. So that's why he wanted to open up with this killing, because there was an actual count that they could go off of to also again just show just kind of how methodical and creepy this guy was when he picked out his victims.
He made it a point not to show any of these murders that didn't have witnesses that weren't confirmed Zodiac killings.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
And by the way, this is something he mentions in the special features. I highly recommend watching the special features for this movie. They are fascinating.
Oh,
really?
This has an outstanding collection of. I mean, it has interviews with people like Michael Mageau, with the young man who survived Lake Berryessa. Yeah, it's a lot of interesting stuff in the special features.
Don't tell anybody, Herman.
So opening scene, we see Darlene and Mike get shot. Like a car had come and watched, and then they were a little suspicious. Drove off. They hear it come and turn around. It's kind of assumed that they think it's a police officer because he's like, "Get your ID ready," and then bam, bam, he shoots.
Well, didn't she think it was her husband?
So
I think she thought it was someone she was. I think from what Michael Mageau has said, it's someone that she was scared of, not necessarily her husband.
Oh, okay, my bad.
And plus, it's implied later that Zodiac and her may have known each other.
Exactly, right. And it's also implied heavily, though not confirmed, that Darlene did in fact recognize the car and her killer. But again, can't confirm it because she died almost right away.
Yeah, a very creepy opening scene. Very good.
Well, and
sorry, go ahead, Gord.
I know I've already emphasized the point about the music, but this song in particular, the use of Hurdy-Gurdy Man for Zodiac, is one of the best and creepiest usages of. I mean, a genuinely good song. I like the song, but I'm like, I can't listen to it now and not think of Zodiac Killer.
Zodiac, yep.
It's associated with him now.
Yeah.
Yep.
So then it kind of cuts to current day San Francisco, and then this is Jake Gyllenhaal, aka Robert Graysmith, the guy who wrote the non-fiction novel, which this movie is based on. The first few times I'd watched this movie, I wondered why they even bothered showing the relationship with the kid. Because aside from the bus scene that comes later, but I think ultimately what I noticed, because I'm going to be honest, this is the only movie that comes to mind where every time I watch it, it feels like I'm watching it for the first time. Because there's so many details.
There's so much going on,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think it's just more to show, and it's highlighted later on, when he starts to go and do his own investigation, just how much this ended up consuming his life. He like he loses a wife, he loses his family, like he basically loses his sanity at one point when we get to that scene. And he's a very awkward, nerdy guy. He's a cartoonist at the San Francisco Chronicle.
Well, Vex, would you say he has a touch of the tism?
Oh, definitely.
He definitely has a bit of the
100%.
tism.
Dude fucking copies down a cipher and then starts just fucking, doing some Stephen Hawking shit on it right away,
Yeah. I was waiting for you to say it. I just had to push you in that direction.
And honestly, a lot of what this movie's about is the way it affects the main players and various people that had some kind of involvement with it.
Which is why
Sorry.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. No, go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say that's why I appreciate that they didn't go into backstories of the victims as much as maybe some people would enjoy, because again, this is really about the shit show he caused on every front for the people investigating this. Also, to answer Sumo Orange's point, don't some believe the Golden State Killer is also the Yeah, that was a popular theory. There's a point where they also thought Ted Bundy might have been it. They thought Charles Manson and his cult might have also been in charge of it at one point. Yeah, because those all happened within the same frame of time,
area.
Also roughly, same geographic area. Yeah.
Wow.
San Francisco's such a nice place.
Even then. Well, now instead of serial killers, they just rob Walgreens right in front of you. But this is where they get the first letter, right? The San Francisco Chronicle from the Zodiac.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Here you go. You could kind of make out what they're saying, and he's talking about. So how long? I'm sorry. How long after the killing was this? So that was in July, right? The Vallejo, whatever the one
so
with
this
the
is
lake.
September
Vallejo's
now.
was 4th of July.
Right.
Yeah.
And then got it.
This is September now. Yeah.
Yeah. And then this is where they kind of go back and forth on how, because isn't this where he's saying put it on the front page, or I'm gonna go out and kill again or something, right? Am I wrong?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. He's like demanding them. Sorry, go ahead.
He's giving details about how the bodies had, how they were placed and everything. Details that weren't released. So that was kind of one of the
like
things
an ammo type.
The way the bodies were,
the gun,
they fell, where they were shot, all of that stuff. Yeah.
Hey, there he is.
By the way, 5 days after this movie released is when RDJ started working on Iron Man.
Yeah, he had a nice run there for a while.
Yeah.
Melvin Deeply also Edwards was another killer that they thought might have been the Zodiac.
Oh, wow!
So quite a few.
There's a lot of stuff tied to this guy. Wow. I feel like he's working on the cipher.
Yeah, so they got the cipher as well. So he starts copying it down because we learned that he's also really into puzzles and all that stuff. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So this is so Robert Downey Jr.'s version of Paul Avery, who really was like a guy that covered the Zodiac killings and all that stuff extensively. His character is largely fictionalized in this movie. So like he and Robert Graysmith weren't really friends. They didn't talk about things. He wasn't that big of a raging alcoholic. This is ultimately just RDJ being himself in this movie.
I was going to say, no wonder why it seems so natural.
Right. But like he wasn't.
Like I think in the Zodiac book, like Graysmith expresses like admiration for Avery, like
Paul,
he knew him, but like the friendship is largely fictional.
Well, I'm just like, this is such a crazy time, like in the late 60s, because there were so many serial killers in California.
Operating. Yep.
Like an unreal amount. Like,
it
just blows my mind. Like how many there was. I think there was like 5 in the 2-3
one.
Honestly, there were probably even more. It's just like maybe 5 or 6 that we know of. Yeah.
Unbelievable. Oh yeah, this is where he is such a Boy Scout. He was a Boy Scout in real life, wasn't he? And even in the movie they mentioned that, but he was such a straight arrow. Graysmith was so funny. But so this is where they're deciding whether to put. So they decide to put it on page 4 instead of the front page. And then so this part was funny because you see Gyllenhaal looking into all these people who go to this local bar, and he's just left out. Poor guy's just staring in.
I wouldn't say he's left out. You can tell that he very intentionally is just not a social person. Like he doesn't drink, he doesn't smoke, he doesn't party. He's a family man. He's got 2 kids, so I think it's not his scene. That's all.
Yeah. It's not his. Type
Apparently,
of
everybody calls him retard behind his back. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I think he's kind of left out, hon.
Just making observations here. Come on. Yeah, and this is cool. I like this. I like the way he does this because he's going through all the varying agencies, like the CIA, the FBI. I think it was another one with the was a local police and it's crazy
because they mine hunters. That's why it's so
good. Yeah, and they put it in the paper, right? Obviously, and then these people weren't they teachers? Husband and wife, they were teachers, and they broke the cipher. It's crazy. There he is.
So,
RDJ was good. He was good in this.
At the time of this, so there were 4 Zodiac ciphers that ended up getting sent and published and all that stuff. Up until this film, only 2 of the 4, and then the third was cracked in 2020. There's still one that hasn't been cracked at all.
Really?
Which is crazy to me.
Was that the one Zax was saying something that they just recently cracked one? Was that what?
Yeah, that would be it. Yeah, the one in 2020.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, this is pretty wild. Sorry, Jay, go ahead.
Sorry, repeat that. Which one did they crack?
So there were 4. Do you just want me to say crack again?
No. I'm actually asking.
So like there were 4 ciphers that were sent and published. 2 were solved at the time of this movie. Like this movie came out in 2007, and in 2020 a third was, but there is still a 4th cipher that hasn't been decoded.
He wants to take slaves with him into the afterlife. Isn't that funny? Yeah.
Did anyone read this book, by the way, just out of curiosity?
Yeah, I read this book.
Sassy's read it, and Vex read it.
It's a good book. It is a good book, but it's
very good.
When I saw that it was associated with this movie, I was like, oh.
Yeah, it's a lot. The book is a lot.
Yeah, also still to this day, the most accurate and best compilation of actual Zodiac information in any book. So,
dude,
I forgot about these 2 as well.
This killing here was I don't know about you, like the one with the nighttime was creepy. Something about the skit that was really just haunting. Just because they're just chilling at a lake.
And like there's no use of
these ones?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And I love how he's directing this scene, and the writing is so good because it's like the dialogue is it's quick, and it's like it's such impact because she's like, oh, look, there's somebody over there, and he's like rebutting everything she's saying. It's probably just whatever. It is a lake, right? People come to a lake, and her face is getting more intense and more serious, and the way she's putting the word, and then out of nowhere, the guy hides behind a tree, and you're like, what the fuck is going on?
So this is one of the other 2 things that I'd mentioned that was largely fictionalized. So this the entire it took place and how they died is all accurate, and even like the writing on the car, but this entire like them cuddling, for example, it's actually largely like he said in his statement, because was it Brian Hartnell or Hartwell? He survived this attack as well, right? So he's the other victim. But he stated like they were just friends. They weren't romantically involved at this point or anything.
Okay.
But yeah, that outfit is spot on to what was circulated to police departments for a while.
This dude is like doing live action role play, and he's like in the wrong place at the wrong time. He's like, I'm here to cast a magic spell. Like
he took the wrong turn before. He was trying to get to San Diego Comic-Con.
Lightning bolt.
LARPing by himself.
I got a plus.
Although to my understanding, though, the part where he shows them the loaded gun, I think that is real though.
That is, that's what, but I mean, like this whole conversation for the most part that takes place is not like it's just played up for drama, right? But there's something that they left out here, which I can understand why they did. Is there were partial witnesses to this one because there were other people at Lake Berryessa that had seen this man walking around that had also heard screaming at one point. So
no kidding.
Yeah.
And yet it still took them forever to get to these 2. It's like these 2 were out there for a while after being stabbed.
The crazy part is the park ranger who messed up the whole entire scene by folding up everything in the picnic blanket and taking it to his place.
A picnic blanket, yeah.
And that caused him to be a suspect for a little while too.
Yeah.
Oh, crazy scene. Well done though.
I think one of the interesting things about this case, and it shows in some of these scenes, are some of just the bizarre details around
like
people
this.
who aren't. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the fact that the Ranger did that. I mean, you even wonder. It's like, why does Michael Michaud wear so many layers of clothing? Is it really for the reason he said? It's there's so many weird details about this case, especially when you read the books.
Weren't they making a point to say like a lot of men were the women were getting killed, but the men were surviving? A few of the
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, it's the same as that one killer that was going down the California coast, and he just got captured like not too long ago. And
Golden State.
Golden State, yeah.
The
Golden State Killer. He would do weird shit like he would eat and he would like tie up the husband and have him watch and like it was like man, what a crazy time.
Yeah, I would say that's pretty. Yeah, this is where they're just kind of going over everything that he's noticing. It's fucking Jake Gyllenhaal's. Yeah, I tell you, Jake Gyllenhaal's an underrated actor.
Simple Jake.
Yeah.
He really is.
Jake.
Oh yeah, this is where he starts putting the pieces together about Zodiac's persona. Right?
Yeah, it was right after the cipher got decoded, basically.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, like I said, there's a lot of information coming at you fast. You really got to pay attention. I turned my notifications off just on purpose because there's no way you're gonna freaking look at your phone and you're gonna miss something.
Yeah, it's like Oppenheimer. Like you can't be distracted watching Oppenheimer or you miss a detail. Yeah.
So this is
Jake Gyllenhaal was great in Brokeback Mountain, Nos, and I know you mean that as a joke, but he genuinely was.
Something was breaking in Jake Gyllenhaal and Brokeback Mountain.
I don't know.
This is this is Paul Stein, who's the third confirmed killing / I guess fifth victim technically. I actually really liked this shot. The overhead,
this was good.
It was just seeing him go from city to suburb, and it's meticulous too, right? Because they know that. Well, actually, when we get to it later, there was actually a suspect that lived just around the corner from this killing. So, yeah,
this is pretty crazy.
Yeah, this is Paul Stein, and after this killing happens, so there were two kids across the street that witnessed it. This cab, 1 for 1, is exactly how it looked on the night of the murder. By the way. Even the number that's on the side of the cab, that was the number Yellow Cab had at the time in the area. This set though is all recreated because there were too many issues with the permitting to shoot on the actual corner of Washington and Cherry, so they had to do this on a separate set.
That makes sense. Yeah. This was great. Again, use of music. Yeah, this again.
Someone died. This is great.
This is great. It wasn't me, so it was really great.
This is great.
Somebody got shot in the head for no reason.
My gosh!
You know what? How entertaining is this? This is where we get introduced to Mark Ruffalo, Inspector David. Is it Tashi, and then Anthony Edwards. I haven't seen Anthony Edwards in a movie or show like it forever. But
because he's an asshole. Apparently he's a real asshole on sets.
Really?
Okay, I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
Apparently. I just found that out. I was like, wow, really?
That's a shame.
Jeez.
Who is?
Oh, Anthony Edwards is the guy who played his Mark Ruffalo's partner.
Oh, okay. Huh.
Yeah, he what was the thing with the animal crackers? Mark Ruffalo's always eating animal crackers.
It's his favorite snack.
They focus on that shit so much.
That was never mentioned in the book either, unless I missed it.
It's not. But the reason that I guess they kind of did is because, and they make mention of this part in the movie, the fact that Toschi was an advisor to Steve McQueen for the movie Bullet, so people in Hollywood knew that about him. And it was true that they were his favorite snack. Like there were people on the set, like because Toschi obviously he got to visit the set for Zodiac, and people were asking him to like autograph boxes of animal crackers.
Animal crackers.
There's there's like a couple scenes too where they're eating like burgers and stuff, and there's actually one instance where you see Mark Ruffalo spit out the burger. He's actually a vegetarian in real life, and they gave him a meat burger on set. So that's why you see him spit it out. Yeah.
Well, I'm just looking at Melvin's comment here about Debbie Harry. She was in New York at that time. She wouldn't have been anywhere near California.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, that's why I haven't heard about that.
She would have been CBGB's. She was like in that scene. So there's like
hold on. I wore them yesterday on my stream when your tummy hurt, so you missed it.
You know what, Nos? For a man, you have tummy aches like a bitch does. Like you should probably get
Wow! What are you swallowing to keep getting all these?
Are they eggs or are they cramps?
I mean, I can put them on. They're right here, Nos, but you hurt me yesterday. Just saying.
Oh yeah, this is his partner's birthday. He's like, "Happy birthday!" He's like, "What do you want, the body or the?" He's like, "It's your birthday. I'll take the body."
Speaking of a little bitch, Mark Ruffalo.
Oh, dude.
It's really a shame because
Why didn't he play the cab
like
driver?
To me, Mark Ruffalo is so interchangeable with anybody else. But I think he did okay in this, and maybe he somewhat looked like the character. But he is so replaceable, y'all.
Sorry,
I
what were
liked
you
him in
saying?
13. I liked him in
Yeah, what were you
13 going
saying?
on 30, but whatever.
Oh, I liked him in that too. I like that movie.
I love that movie.
Isn't that
It's a
just,
guilty
isn't that
pleasure.
just big but girls?
Yes, it's a female big.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's good.
So yeah, this is all just going over kind of the details. So like they find out from his logbook that he was actually supposed to be dropped off a block east, but he got 1 block west. Everything looks the same, so they just kind of start to try and play out how things happened, how he ended up getting shot.
I like this. I like how they played this
it.
out as to why he would do this. Why would he get in the front seat? Why would this is stuff you don't see a lot of.
Yeah, that was interesting. I liked that part where they
Doesn't
were
he say I'm not a moron or something like because I'm not a moron when he's So
yeah.
So
I like how they played off of each other with the cat, like how you would put yourself in certain circumstances, and I liked that.
Yeah, this was good. And this is where he goes to the neighbors. The neighbors with the kids saw everything through the window, and I like how they don't show the kids though. You hear them, but you don't see them. I don't know why. It's just a simple little thing, but I like it. Just I don't know, for some reason it adds mystery to the scene. I don't know. It's really good though.
Well, I think that's more just to focus on I can't say his name.
Toski,
yeah. Just because he very notoriously was extremely criticized for the way he handled it, and a lot of people think it was unfairly because, like you had mentioned with the Lake Berryessa thing, it's like a lot of the officers that were just kind of generally on duty or involved had fudged up a lot, and he's the one that took the rep for it. So
that's true.
Yeah.
Well, and not only that, I mean, and the movie does this really well. We'll obviously go over it later, but like just all the different departments that had to, get coordinated and the various jurisdictions, and he really had this pinned on him for 2 reasons. 1, because amongst cops he was famous, and 2, because that reporter, attempted to smear him by saying that he wrote a Zodiac letter, which was a load of crap.
Yeah.
So this is when they get the second letter, and there's a piece of Paul Stein's bloody shirt in it, and they figure out, that's why he went to the front seat. But yeah, that's why.
I don't think this one doesn't have the shirt in it. I don't think. Well, no, this one does. This one does. I was thinking of the one that I forgot that Robert Downey Jr. gets one later.
Yeah.
Like poor Jake Gyllenhaal's in the back. Gray Smith's in the back. He's like says one thing, and they're like, "Okay, who are you again?"
They're like, "Don't you have a cartoon to draw, sir?
Yeah, don't you have a cartoon to finish?" Like, it's pretty funny. Oh yeah, this is where he says he's gonna do something to a school bus with children. He's gonna wipe out a school bus. Yeah, that won't start a panic in a big city. Yeah, this was good.
But why wouldn't you like it? Like they're like, I get it's the '60s. You're trying to protect everyone, but like you could lose kids. Like, why wouldn't you put it out to keep your kids safe? Like now kids are involved.
So I can actually answer that for you. So I can understand the panic thing, first of all, because if you do that, then you probably run the risk of just losing your suspect altogether, or just even worse shit happening. Because in a panic, people aren't above killing other people, right? Especially since guns are legal in America. So who's to say that someone isn't going to just go and shoot out literally any Joe Schmo that they think is a little bit suspicious?
That's true.
We also learned, like, not long after this, that Paul Avery had been doing digging, and he had become aware that Zodiac consistently did lie about certain killings and all that stuff. So
I'm sorry, that comment is so funny. I'm sorry, Vex, to interrupt you with my laughing, but I had to.
Oh,
sorry.
you people!
That's insulting to Gray Smith, because at least
I
Gray
know,
Smith can find evidence.
I'm sorry. It's just when that part where Robert Downey Jr. says, "Hey, looming, no looming."
Looming.
That popped into my head while I was watching it.
Oh,
And I was like, I'm bringing that joke.
I
bringing it.
I was talking about that last night. Ooh.
Yeah. Yeah. Ouch.
Yes.
Oh god. Oh yeah. I like. Yeah. This is the looming thing. What's that thing you're doing that starts with L that I don't like? Looming. Yeah. Don't do it. But,
Careful now. If you mention BA's name, he might just show up. He might be looming on.
I'm hoping.
3 times in a mirror,
no,
dude.
BA turn. BA
juice. BA juice. BA juice.
Ah, shit. Somebody said it 3 times. That's it.
Somebody mute Vex, please.
Somebody send a super chat, and we'll mute her. White Bear likes to do that.
Best $3.50 I ever spent. $3.50.
$3.50.
This is why Nas's tummy hurts.
Yeah.
That's why there.
Guzzling too much of that bitch ass cum.
Dude, I was just gonna say that. She took the words right out of my mouth.
Yeah, well,
He's guzzling the bitch juice.
Nas took it out of freaking BA's. But anyway, yeah. So anyway, yeah. So this is like you were saying, Vex, with him showing his kid because he doesn't want him to take the bus, right? Because he knows what's going on, obviously. And yeah, I probably wouldn't let my kid take a bus either for a while.
Yeah.
If I don't have to, no, sorry. Yeah, and then we go here.
I mean, these days I wouldn't anyway, but
that's true.
Then, that would be good.
So this is the handwriting expert guy, right? This is the guy that was matching up the letters to Sherwood.
Yeah. Yep. Oh, actually, you know what? Sorry, this is another thing that is a little bit inaccurate. So Sherwood wasn't while he was used as an expert, he wasn't as involved as they make it out to seem for the handwriting comparison. But again, just to avoid putting so many people in the role, I can understand why they did
this is a beautiful shot. Look at
that. Right at the animal cracker. This is how I lured the children.
This actually made me want animal crackers. They're delicious.
No.
I love animal crackers.
Got the animal crackers?
Change your background, Whitey, to animal
I haven't tried
crackers.
animal crackers.
I can't. I'm a serial killer.
No shit.
Oh, that's right.
Really,
You've never tried animal crackers, Vex?
They're not in Canada.
Gosh.
What?
Oh god.
Communist.
That's it.
See,
we need to bomb Canada.
Bastards. That's it.
I'll send you animal crackers with that check.
The first thing you do,
we used to get them. We used to get them up here. I used to have them when I was a kid, but
oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah,
What did
Peter had a big.
Trudeau said no to fucking animal crackers.
Yeah,
sorry.
basically. Yeah.
The weird one is Trix disappeared from here one day when I was a kid.
Really?
So yeah, and then they came back I want to say
they were
a
kids.
year or two ago.
No, that's just what your parents told you. They didn't want you to have tricks.
Trudeau's all about the
I
limp
can't
biscuit.
find them.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're not missing anything. It's a lot of
Can
diabetes.
I just ask something real quick too? Is that did he have 2 previous children before he met the blonde? So where was the other boy in this?
They mention them, but they don't show them. Well, no, they do show
Whenever
them.
they have a family dinner later on,
Yes, that's
you
what
see
I
them
thought.
all.
Okay.
Are we talking about Trudeau?
talking about
still, or are we
Graysmith.
talking about the
No,
Also,
Gray Smith.
It's
Sorry,
because
go
one
ahead,
of them
Vex.
was a baby at this time. So in the opening scene, you hear him saying
Crying.
you're gonna go to your mom's, and he's like, "Do you like having a brother?" He's like, "No."
Oh,
Yeah.
that's right. Okay.
yeah.
Thank you. Yep, that makes sense.
That's why you heard him crying like a little baby.
Because it didn't have its animal crackers.
Dad, can we put my brother on the school bus?
Oh, we're sick human beings. I love you people. Yeah, this is where they're going back and forth. So these are the police in San Francisco going back and forth to the town, law enforcement in the towns where the murders are happening. This I mean, there's a lot happening here when you're watching.
There's a lot of moving around.
It's very it's good. I like it.
Yeah.
But it's a lot.
I honestly
of
thought the
information.
movie was going to end when they put Casey Jones on it.
Right?
That's a lie. That's Casey Jones.
Where's that? Yeah, he just needs his hockey mask and his hockey sticks, and he's good.
Wait.
Like one of you were saying though, this is showing when it comes back to Toss. Oh, I can't say his name. Mark Ruffalo.
Toski.
His name was Dave, wasn't
Call him
it?
Ruffalo.
Dave, yeah,
Just
Dave
call him.
Toski.
Just
Call
call
him
him
Puss
Dave.
Boy.
Yeah, so again, they're trying to coordinate between 4 different counties right now, and
There's a
they
lot
all
going
don't.
on.
Yeah, not all of them have fax machines, so that's the whole point
Yeah.
of this. Yeah,
We'll
Yeah,
just
they
send it
didn't
in the mail.
Yeah.
I like how like snooty he gets. He's like, well, we don't have facts. Like you up in
Yeah.
San Francisco,
Yeah.
cop.
San Francisco
Like,
big city boy. Stick the facts up your ass.
I do like how they kind of remind the audience what time this was.
Yep.
Of course. Yeah, before technology. Because then so they figured he might be in the military because of the size boot they found. That's a military boot, correct?
Yeah, the type of boot is meant for like non-slip on airplane wings, and and non-static producing slip.
Right.
Yeah,
Is
they
that
call
what
them
Bruce
wing
Willis
walkers.
used? Is that what Bruce Willis used in Die Hard 2 when he fought at the end?
I'd hope
Yes.
so. It's
Well,
I mean,
no, he
it
fell
would be it, I mean it would show amazing foresight that he would know to wear those for that movie. His character.
Yeah. Well,
He's not
hey,
gonna
he's
end
John
up on the wing of a plane today.
It's John McClane, man. Come on. So this was very interesting because these are the cops that when he shot the cab driver, right? They saw him, and he even mentions it in the letter, right? When he sends it to the Chronicle before this, I think it's before this, where he said they could have caught me, but they weren't. They're basically the cops were being stupid. They weren't paying attention.
No.
Yes, isn't it?
No, that the call was that there was a black man and they didn't realize it, and the information came out after the fact that he was actually white. So they put 2 and 2 together.
But Mark Ruffalo does say, "Why didn't you stop him, though?"
That's true. In all fairness, that's true. But
because could you imagine like these two could have stopped all these killings for all this bullshit and saved a marriage if they just
assuming the guy was exactly who they were
really
looking
him.
at. It's another one of those eerie details where you're just like, gosh,
Crazy.
they so close and just slipped through.
But it's something that they felt guilty for the rest of their life, so they have to live with that as well. But you know what?
I mean, this is guessing that the dude is just also drenched in blood and it's at nighttime.
Exactly.
And they want to have Mark Ruffalo's character just stare at him like you're such idiots, but like they're in tunnel vision mode, running towards what they think looking for whoever they think they're looking for at nighttime, and we're just guessing that the dude's just going to be covered, drenched in gallons of blood. No, he's not.
Right.
Yeah.
I just think that they stuck a little bit too much time on making them look bad, but
I think it was. I don't necessarily think the scene was meant to make those guys look bad. I think it was just. It's the kind of moment that can give you an idea of how it must have felt to feel like, oh my gosh, this guy just slipped through our fingers and we could have had him. I mean, it's kind of something you kind of have to put in.
You know what else I think too?
I think it is an effective moment.
And also I think it goes to show as well how many times this guy was like right in front of you and you didn't realize, like he was just everywhere and he was one step ahead of everybody. I feel like watching this movie.
He wasn't. Yeah, and then this is where Robert Downey Jr. kind of goes through what he's basically saying. He's going through his scenarios as to why this is different than most cases. You can't think of it as like a regular, case, and he goes through his like plot points. But and then I like how it switches back to Mark Ruffalo, and then kind of they do this very cleverly. They're going back and forth to each character to kind of give you their interpretation of how they're trying to find the information out. But Paul Harvey wasn't stupid. He knew, like he knew the pattern of what he was doing. I like this part. Robert Downey Jr. They're all looking at him like, what? But yeah, this was here we go. Yeah, so there's a lot of little tiny details. Again, it's moving so quickly that if you don't really catch anything, if you miss it, this is where they. What's the name of the doctor again? Brian Cox plays Melvin Belli.
He's Melvin Belli. And he's not a doctor. He's an attorney, I think.
Attorney. Okay, yeah, yeah. And
he was like he was kind of like a famous attorney back then. Real eccentric.
I like how he's laying in the back seat because he's like, oh, this guy could snipe me from whatever direction, and he's like, no,
kudos to Brian Cox. This is not a big part, but does he ever not bring it to a movie?
Dude, he's such a good actor.
Great in this.
Yeah, he's so good. Brings it. Cox brings it every time, Whitey.
Can I just ask something? Why could you drink during your work day just to get through the day, but now it's frowned upon? I mean,
yeah, sometimes we could use that, right?
I know, that's all I'm saying.
I wouldn't mind it.
I don't know. Where you work near vaginas, drinking and all that doesn't really mix. There'd be too many jokes.
Believe it or not, there's a factory not too far from where I live, where I think I don't know if it's like once a year, but they bring alcohol to people for like a party or something. I don't know if I assume it's
kidding.
after work hours.
Okay.
They build fans there, and I'm like, is that really safe? You're building gigantic fans.
We have breaking news.
Let's get alcohol.
By the way, we have breaking news. We know who Zodiac was. It was the Martian Manhunter.
Dun, dun, dun.
I knew it.
I thought so.
I mean,
BA is lurking.
I think me
Always,
and Gord
Jack.
live
Always.
kind of close to the Jack Daniels factory anyway, so they get drunk.
I do live pretty
drinks all
close
the
to
time.
there.
Yeah.
Nice.
I do live pretty close to there.
Yeah, well, that explains a lot, Gord. That explains a lot. Yeah, so this is pretty cool because then they're waiting for the Zodiac because the Zodiac said he's going to call this station at this time, and I didn't know that this guy he was on Star Trek. I researched this, and he did have an episode of Star Trek, so he was very, like you said, very popular.
Wait, Gorgon.
This was Gorgon. So this was a pretty good scene. Now, if you go by the trailer, it's to kind of throw you off and make you think that it actually was the Zodiac, but wasn't it a mental patient?
Yes.
A mental hospital that called?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like I remember because so first time I ever saw this movie, I had been asleep and my brother put this on. This is about the point where I woke up and started to watch it.
Oh God.
And then actually watched the whole thing all the way through and then started the whole thing back over again. That's how great I think this movie is. But I was when this scene happened, and then you realize, okay, the person who called was the Zodiac. I wondered, I was like, why is that even in the movie? Then what's the point of it? Now later in the movie, you realize why. It's to introduce Melvin Belli and give you a reason, give you an understanding of why he has any involvement in the case, because there's actually a very important detail that gets extracted from his involvement later on.
Also, this was real. Whatever.
Yeah, it really happened too.
Yeah.
Quick question.
No.
The calls that they were coming in, was that actual tape of the calls?
I believe it was. No,
they recreated it. Even the phone calls that they get of from the actual Zodiac later, they actually had. So one of the operators that picked up like one of the 911 calls or whatever, they actually found her and had her listen to some of the people that they were looking to cast for Arthur Lee Allen, and she actually pinpointed John Carroll Lynch's voice and was like, that guy sounds almost exactly like Zodiac. So they re-recorded everything with John Carroll Lynch's voice.
The book also mentioned that conversation. He ended up talking. There was like 30 phone calls in that time span, and he ended up having like a 2-hour conversation with him off air. With this mental patient, which he thought was the Zodiac Killer, which I thought was interesting.
By the way, on the special features, one of the interviews is with the operator who took Zodiac's call. Listening to her recreate what he said is actually pretty eerie.
That was like 40 years later. Like, wow.
Yep.
Yeah. I like how he's like, meet me here alone, and then everybody shows up. The police.
You all really know how to put on a secret meeting.
Yeah. This is them just listening back to the voice. And they realize it's obvious. Yeah, it was a mental patient with headaches.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they just kind of scampers along, and then I love how they have this big meeting because they got another letter, right? Yeah, they got the next letter.
I think this is also played up a little bit because it wasn't just the San Francisco Chronicle that was getting a letter. There were 2 other San Francisco area newspapers that got letters. So
did they mention that in the beginning of the movie? Yeah.
Just because this is focusing on Robert Graysmith's account, it's
right.
Makes sense.
I'm glad that they didn't try to spread it too thin.
Me too.
And
I mean, it's already a nearly 3-hour movie, so
yeah, really.
Right.
Oh, was it?
I got trivia about that as well.
Oh, I can't wait.
I loved the trivia for this movie.
But it's fascinating stuff.
That's more because I'm a true crime junkie, though. I think.
I know. Sick.
Oh, I told Sassy that I was like, Vex is probably having a field day looking up information or getting the trivia for this because it's right up. No, because but I was very curious because I was like, there's probably a lot of trivia about this, a lot. But very interesting.
I haven't seen those special features that Gord had mentioned, so I'm gonna go watch those probably.
I want to watch it too.
Bed. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah, highly recommend those. Especially if you, I don't know if you all own the movie or anything, but yeah, it's
No.
it's the one I'm referring to. It's if you buy it on DVD, buy the one that the cover looks like a letter that he sent.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Oh, it's a special edition.
It's like it's like the director's cut special edition.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
nice.
I know that they had a lot of liberties, in the movie, but especially with RDJ here. But that definitely kind of helped, I guess, kind of ease things a little bit, introduce like just a tiny bit of levity.
Yeah,
also just because these events were technically so spread out too, it helps at least string some sort of coherent plot together for a movie.
Right.
So that's why I can understand why they took the liberty with this relationship happening.
He's like, what the hell is that? He's like, it's an
Well, and also, I think they had to do it because a lot of the information that Graysmith used for his book did come from Paul Avery. It's just
Paul
it didn't
Avery,
come necessarily like personally. So creating this personal connection, I think, streamlines that pretty well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got a point. Yeah.
That's a good point. Yeah, he's doing some stuff here. Some White Bear. You supply him with his powder for his nose?
I don't know, but Paul Avery figured this out in a cave with a box of scraps.
Mama, take me home.
Oh my god! Yeah, they're going over a lot of the details between each other about because Paul Avery was not stupid. He saw like you said, the patterns and what he was doing. Zodiac and how you can't look at this as a this guy goes into code breaker fucking books. Sorry, Vex. Go.
No, I was gonna say this is where we find out that Paul had figured out information that the police necessarily didn't figure out at this point about Zodiac claiming responsibility for certain victims and stuff like that.
Right.
And it's really cool how this kind of sets up that, because we've seen that. I really love that scene from earlier where it's showing like them trying to coordinate with these different, stations and whatnot, because it shows just how chaotic an investigation like this had to have been back then. And meanwhile, you have him thinking of something they probably haven't thought of yet, or at least, that various details might be spread out over these various stations. And he's figured it out because, he's into puzzles and stuff like that. I think it's awesome. Kind of lends to, the idea of him being the author who cracked some of this later on.
Yep. This is where Bella gets his Christmas party at his home, right? And he gets a letter from
Zodiac.
He actually got a phone call when he was gone, right? And the maid picked up the phone and talked to Zodiac, right?
Yeah. Yep. On the 18th.
Okay. Yeah, yeah, it's very specific. That comes into play much later.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is interesting. When they just gone through the details of when the letter arrived, who the housekeeper talked to, what did he say? But it's freaking weird, man. This right here, this scene here, with the highway scene with the kid, the baby, and the mom. Holy shit, dude.
Yep.
Yeah.
Can we just talk about how the setting for these, like this is 69?
Excellent.
How, that gritty, dark lighting, everything about it like takes you back. We did Rocky a while ago, and same thing. Like you get that vibe from it, right? So
put you right into that time period.
That timer,
it's great. This part was fucking.
I have a quick question for Vex about. Does your trivia mention something about this particular actress? Just out of curiosity.
I know it's Ione Skye.
Okay.
No.
So the this actress, the song they play for Zodiac by the group Donovan, like she's, I think, the daughter of the lead of that group.
Oh,
no kidding.
Yeah.
What's her
There you
name?
go.
Ione Skye.
Ione Skye. She's the eye on the sky.
Like Flower Moon and other hippie names.
So some people, I know when this
Dweezil's
movie came
apple.
out, I know when this movie came out, like a lot of people criticized this scene because this was one of those things that Zodiac claims to have done like several months later in a thing, but like this was one of those accounts where it's like, how do you know it was the Zodiac kind of deal? But yeah, this is all pretty accurate even to her testimony. So that's why I don't understand why people thought this was weird.
I think a lot of people, I'm pretty sure, thought she made it up, or at least made up the idea that it was Zodiac who did it. But I'm like, well, she definitely didn't make up that she was abducted and she was found this way.
Right. Like this is all true. The only difference here is that she was actually pregnant with her. She was about 7 months pregnant when this happened.
Yep.
Okay, so she didn't have the baby
That's in the
yet.
book.
Okay.
That's in the book. Yeah.
And she's not pregnant here, but yeah,
Dude,
he pretends that, oh, I saw that your wheel is loose, let me fix it. So he straightens it for her, and then it falls off, and he decides to give her a ride. They drive past a gas station, and this is where he's like, before I kill you, I'm going to throw your baby out the window, right?
Oh, dude.
So what ended up happening is he stopped, and she took that opportunity. In real life, he stopped, I can't remember why, and she just bolted out, and she hid in a field, and he looked for her for quite some time with a flashlight before giving up. And it was several hours later that someone stopped and found her. And when they went back to her car, it had been completely torched.
Yep.
No shit. Wow.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's not creepy. Just the part where he's just like, she gets in the car, and he's like, oh, I didn't know you had a baby. And his tone just changed.
Whereabouts did this happen again?
This is outside Modesto, California.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I thought this scene was, can you imagine just like someone picking you up, threatening to kill your baby, and then hiding in a fucking field in the middle of nowhere? Like, that's fucking terrifying to me.
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
That's why I asked about the killing fields, because like he traveled the highways a lot, so they say.
But Zodiac never had any even linked victims anywhere outside of possibly Nevada and California. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is just a nice montage. They're just going through all like a fast time period here, the various time periods quickly about him sending more letters, and I don't know how long this spans, this whole thing, but I like how they did this to kind of speed things through.
Passage of time is done a lot in this movie, but it's done really effectively.
That's what I'm saying. There's a lot, but he does a really good job of setting it up. Yeah, the fucking. It's funny too because you see Paul Avery's character in this, and each time you see him as the movie goes on and on, he just looks more disheveled, like just beat down,
like I'm
drugged up.
Not to throw up.
Yeah. And then this is where he kind of he's showing him an article about this woman that was Isn't it crazy? Paul Avery was a smart dude. Maybe it was the drugs. Maybe we should all get high.
Well, he was actually a crime writer anyways.
That's true.
So he knew to look for these things. That's all.
With details.
Yeah, he just kind of wasted his talents, unfortunately.
Ted Bundy.
Oh, and this part here with the whole thing where the watch, like you're starting to figure out where Zodiac's getting his symbol, his name. It's like, holy shit, off of a fucking watch company. Like, oh,
and you can still buy these watches, by the way. They're about $200 to $300 watches.
I mean, that's not really imaginative. I mean, come on. So you just take it from a watch. Come on,
if I ever visit Gord one day and he's wearing a Zodiac watch, I am running the other way. Sorry, Gord. Because you love this movie and you're wearing. Nah, I'm good, dude. I'm just kidding. I'd run first from Vex first. I'm scared.
But I mean, the thing is, because the reason I know that is because when I first saw this movie, I actually was kind of in the market for a new watch, and I was just like, I wonder if they actually sell these. And I saw them, and I was just like, okay, I'm not going to actually buy one. That's pretty morbid, but they're nice watches. They are pretty nice.
So
I wouldn't do that. That'd be weird.
That would be really weird.
That'd be really weird.
Just like the killer.
So they were going back every year on the anniversary of those. That's the cab driver's death, right, on Washington Cherry.
They weren't going back. I would say it's just
were they waiting for something?
No, it's just revisiting crime scenes, seeing what else you can kind of pick out if there's anything you had missed in the moment, kind of deal. Because again, they were actively investigating this case for quite some time. I think some counties had listed it as just unactive. One of them had it open the whole time.
Right.
But right before this, because there was buzz around this movie, right before it came out in March 2007, all of these counties ended up reopening the case. So now it is an active investigation again.
Wow.
I think there's also sometimes I don't know if they've ever caught a killer this way, but I've seen things where they're like killers will sometimes revisit sites of killings like on anniversaries or something. Like,
well, that's what I was assuming they were doing.
Happened before.
Waiting for him maybe to show back up at some point.
And that's because Ted Bundy was very well known for doing that. That's where a lot of that theory comes from, because he regularly would go and just not only just visit, but he would sometimes even like fuck his dead bodies if they were still ripe enough. Kind of
that sounds great.
So
that's just being nostalgic.
Yeah, he just wants to relive his glory.
I like
digging up the past.
I remember on the news when they were talking about Ted Bundy, and there's girls wearing "I dated Ted Bundy and survived." I remember that.
Oh gosh,
that was crazy.
That's good. I like.
I should get a shirt like that, but about Rings of Power.
I like how they tell Paul if he wants a gun. I don't know if this is the best person to give a gun who's high and drunk all the time, but hey, whatever. He's got to protect himself, right?
Well, no, this is after he gets
really funny how much he misses.
Yeah, yeah.
This is after he gets the letter from the Zodiac directly.
It's threatening him. Yeah,
that's why they start wearing the "I am not Paul Avery" pins.
Yeah. Is this the date? Yeah, this is the date.
Yes.
That's the date, and then Paul Avery. And I looked up how long a drive it is that Paul Avery is doing for this little meetup. It's 7.5 hours.
That's nuts.
Yeah, and then because
hours.
she brings up the point like, isn't this kind of dangerous? Like, what if the Zodiac? And he's like, yeah. Do you have any change?
Like, well, actually, there's a little detail about this part of his performance that I really like, because one of the things you pick up on in the book is that Graysmith was kind of naive about danger. And this, I think, plays it because, like, when she's first saying it, he's like, "Oh, well, he has a gun. Like, it's no big deal." It's like it's only after a couple of beats he's like, "Wait a minute, she might be right."
Yeah,
takes him a second to catch up there. Like, oh, wait a minute, she's right. He could die.
Not like you could send a quick text like, "Be careful, buddy." This might be no. You're kind of screwed. And I like how they're trying to figure out what to eat and what's good here. Is I don't know. I've never been here. He's like the spaghetti.
Simple Jason.
It's just like Vex is right though. It just showed you how awkward he was socially and how he just could, but it was
out
funny.
Of his depths. He kind of was, despite his interest in everything.
Well, I gotta give her credit. She ran with it though. She was like,
I like her. A dude like that keep on trying to date. He only ruins things. Like
she's a weird cat. That Chloe Sevigny. She's a weird.
Yes, he is very weird.
She's not a bad actress though. She's a good actress.
No, she's good.
She's odd. She's an oddball.
Definitely unique.
She was all in. She's like, all right, let's go back. She goes, "This a yeah." I like how is this just a way to get me back to your house? And he's like,
It's like no. And she's like, "Oh, I guess I'll get that to go."
He's like, "But did it work?"
She wrote it out with him, man. She did.
Stop stealing my moves, Robert.
God damn it. Where's Heath Ledger? I want him on my couch. No, I'm just kidding. I can't quit you. Yeah, so again, it's okay. Yeah, this is where they. Yeah, so they're going. Yeah, they're getting information off the TV about more of some of his killings, and then the information. Oh no, it was Avery. Avery got the information from his source, right? Because he went to go see him, and he put it out on all over the news, and then the cops are like, "Wait, how did we not even know this information?"
And basically, he takes this information from an anonymous tipster, and then I think he called the police in that area about the information, and they gave him exemplars regarding it before they actually talked to police, because basically they were already supposed to meet with Toski and all of these people, and I think they just figured, oh, we can give it to this reporter, it's no big deal, and they caused a bit of a problem even for themselves.
Oh yeah,
because this girl they obviously the cops in that area didn't think it's a Zodiac. I don't think they still don't think it was a Zodiac, but her case is still unsolved.
Is this the one from 1966?
Yeah, this is the one that actually
the college.
This predated the first people that were killed.
Right. Yeah. Where they had his handwriting on his desk at the community college. Is that what this one was?
Yeah.
If I'm not okay. Yeah, there it is. And they were like, "Yeah, can we match his? Can we match the writing?" And they're like, "It's off a fucking desk, dude." Like, but
it's like who
because
matches in their handwriting?
A psycho killer. That's who, Gord. A psychopath.
That's literally what they say. Now, granted, I don't think it's impossible to do that, because I've seen people write on a desk in their handwriting and then they etch a little bit, but it's still pretty far fetched.
And it's funny too, because like if you notice each law enforcement person and a lot of they were like, oh, they each had a person they liked for the murders. Because this cop back here was saying how like, hey, I have a guy we like for this, and that happened a lot with all the other law enforcement people. Like, this is a guy I like for this. And it's like, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Fubar. Yeah, they were pissed off. They were pissed off at Avery because they feel like they screwed up his case. Mark Ruffalo wasn't having it. Yeah, it's just funny because and he even says like, okay, so we get to Gyllenhaal, and then so now like the scene with Gyllenhaal looking at the news clippings, but then you have all these wackos just start coming out of the woodwork saying, I'm the Zodiac, and I like this little montage they run through of just showing all the crazy people saying,
and
how did you do it?
There's a line here in a sec that would get about this person where he's like, are you sure? And he's like, yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
How is this even
Forget the Zodiac. We need to investigate Bill Armstrong for misgendering.
Hey, yo, you need to respect my pronouns. Oh,
yeah. I am the misgenderer.
I am. Yeah, so this kind of is where things take a turn again, right?
Where they finally get like a credible tip.
A real,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Credible
this guy
name in high school.
Jesus Christ. I thought it was something else, but I'm not going to say it on the stream. No,
don't skip it. Say it.
Nah, I forgot already. I'm sorry. Don't be a bitch. Say this is what I've missed for 2 weeks.
Why? I gave it right to you every day.
Yeah, but still, it's the way Vex. It's the way she says it. It's fucking hilarious. I don't know. Yeah, so this is good because they get like you said, Vex. They finally get a lot of good detailed information. And is this the were they pointing to what's his name? Arthur Lee Allen. Yeah,
this is his former friend.
Yeah,
right.
Who allegedly had laid out his entire he had said some things to him a couple years prior that were a little suspicious, and they're just like, oh, why is this guy telling us this now? And it turns out with all the tips they were getting, he was one of the guys that no one just ever followed up with. So
yeah, I guess they couldn't believe the fact that he would tell this guy all this. Like they just because even Ruffalo was saying that why would he just lay out his plan? Crazy people do crazy shit, man. Why not?
Well, truth be told, I mean, you can make the argument that we're dealing with a killer that likes to write letters. He likes attention, and a lot of criminologists will tell you that a lot of serial killers want to be caught in a way. They absolutely want credit for their work, and people have a hard time not talking about themselves in certain ways. And
that's a good
you
point.
can argue proud of, especially.
Yeah, and him laying this out to his friend, it's like, you could argue that's the beginnings of that, but
you know why
it still seems hard to believe because you would think you'd want to keep that kind of thing quiet, but killers are weird people, What
are you gonna say, Whitey?
His partner quit because he kept on taking all his damn food.
He's taking his BLT, his fries.
Yeah, his BLT, and he expects him to supply him with animal crackers every day. What kind of fucking man is this?
You're a shitty cop. Leave me alone. Stop stealing my food.
Yeah, that's why he retired.
Yeah, I'm gonna get a transfer right there, and then
I need a transfer. I can't be on call anymore, and I can't get your food done.
I can't afford it. Our pension isn't gonna cover it.
This is where we found out he's ambidextrous, right? Like he could possibly write with both hands.
Yeah, he can jack it with both hands. Whoop-de-doo.
Which one has more force, though, the right or the left?
Well, if you sit on one long enough, it becomes a stranger.
Jesus.
Didn't y'all read that in the Zodiac book?
I'm doing that right now.
Oh,
yeah. No wonder why Jay's smiling.
Nope, it's not working. It's not working.
But it's crazy. Tingling. It's a crazy detail because then they're like, well, yeah, this is probably why some of the letters don't. This part right here was fantastic. My favorite part of the whole
one
movie,
of the best. I mean, John Carroll Lynch is such a good actor. And
absolutely.
They picked the perfect person for this small part.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
Said that, yeah. He's just creepy, man. He's just his mannerisms, his tone.
To me, this is the creepiest part of the movie right here. Is this?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And the looks they give each other, like, holy shit. Like, this really
it was very Mindhunter-esque.
Yes.
Yeah. This is where Mindhunter really does a great job when they're talking to the actual like
looking
this.
at his shoes.
Yeah. It's just his mannerisms, the way.
What?
And he was a pet. He was a child pizza eater, right?
He was an Epstein enthusiast.
Yeah,
he's on the list.
Yeah,
it was crazy. But yeah, you're right. He played this so well, man. Oh my god.
Well, his range is so good. Like he can go from like a lovable dad.
Yep.
To like
a
the
child diddler.
Disgusting. Yeah. Just...
Well, I mean, he's like if you watch Fargo, he's Marge's like really kind, lovable husband. He's just such a decent guy.
Yeah.
And then you watch this, you're like, oh, he's terrifying.
You guys, do you guys remember that shitty movie with Halle Berry, Gothica? He was a fucking he was a child rapist in that movie.
Oh,
which is pretty fucking wild.
I think I remember that.
What a terrible thing to get typecast as.
He's typecasted. Yeah, I was
like,
gonna say.
RDJ went on to be Iron Man, and then this dude kept on screwing kids.
Maybe he needed to do more. Maybe he needed to do more coke.
Yeah.
I can't say you say that with Sugar Smacks behind you.
Oh yeah, because he was a school teacher. He was a
serial
school teacher
killer, baby.
too, right? Wasn't this guy a school teacher?
No, it was like he was a janitor or something, or a bus driver.
Okay.
Yeah.
Always the janitor. Always.
I killed the bus driver.
He might have.
What'd you learn in school today? We learned about Luger ammo.
9 mil ammo. Oh god. But yeah, the part 2 where he shows him the watch because he, Mark Ruffalo picks up on it. He's like, "Can I see your watch?" Just when they look at it and it says Zodiac and he shows it to the other guys, they're like, "What the fuck?"
Got the symbol on it and everything.
Oh man, it's so well. This again, my favorite scene out of the whole movie. I don't know why. It was so
probably
well
my
done.
second favorite. The one near the end between where Gyllenhaal's laying all the details. That's probably my favorite. But this is right after.
The one with Richard, what's his
That
face? Rick
Richard,
Marshall. That's my favorite.
Marshall.
The Rick Marshall scene is my favorite one.
Oh, at the end with
you talking about the one where he's
in the basement?
Yep.
Oh yeah, well it's Rick
good.
Marshall's friend. It's his friend. The
yeah,
one that's
when we
actually,
get there. Yeah, when we get
one
there.
that's played by the voice of Roger Rabbit.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Wow. Look at this guy, man. But yeah, if anybody's going to be a serial killer, he'd be intimidating.
And the way that he lurches away, he doesn't walk, he lurches away.
Lurches,
yeah.
And which is intentional because they describe the way he walked as shuffling.
He's shuffling.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Sassy.
No, he fits the description of a lot of what everybody described. The only thing is he did not have the full head of hair, which a lot of people said he did. But he fit the description as far as how tall he was, and he was husky and the brown hair and stuff like that. But he fit the bill, in my opinion, from what everybody described him to be.
I agree, Shieldwall. Back when Coke was not made with, it was just, Coke.
Yeah.
Everything would have tasted better back then. That's why no one was fat.
Good thinking.
Still like
preservatives. Yeah, we know you do, Eddie. We know you do. Okay, refresh my memory because I'm retarded. Who are these people again? This is the
this guy is Arthur Lee Allen's brother.
Brother, right? Got it.
So they're going to just do a background check, and they're like, yeah, he would make spelling mistakes like that. We haven't talked to him after the whole child molestation thing.
The Christmas card.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they were willing to, because they couldn't get a warrant. So they were like, oh, the next time Arthur goes out of town, we'll look around and keep you guys kind of informed.
Gotcha.
No.
Yeah, there's so much happening here. It's so good. So good. Oh yeah, this is what they take it. So they think they're very disappointed here because doesn't he say here, like, I still don't think this is the guy. Like, it's the closest match, but it's not.
Well, no, in this part, it's like he doesn't mention it being even close. He just flat out tells him, this is not your Zodiac.
This is not the guy, right.
He goes, well, how do you know this? Well, what about if it's the other hand? Because he's ambidextrous, and it shows on the screen there. I've never seen anyone that ambidextrous.
Well, you got to also think, like, the panic at that time, because there were so many serial killers at that time. Like, and they were scrambling. Everyone was scrambling, it seemed like, and trying to cover their own jobs and everything. It must have been such an insane time in California.
All I'm saying is, if I wanted to do a murdering, it would have been during this time when there's so much craze over. Yeah, I mean, like, I would have instantly sent in a letter like, "Oh, did you see me kill again, guys? That was totally me. Not White Bear.
We know
It
it's
was
you,
me,
buddy.
the Zodiac doing the murdering.
Zodiac, the hillbilly Zodiac.
Yeah."
I like this time lapse here where they're showing the build. What the hell's the name of this building again? It's a very famous building in San Francisco.
I don't know, but the time lapse was cool.
It was really cool to show just how fast time was going, or how much time passed by.
Yeah.
So this is where Paul Avery gets basically. Yeah, he looks like shit here. This scene.
Mm-hmm.
He's just really haggard out, and this is where this is his boss, right? Doesn't he kind of threaten him? So get your shit together, because you're. Yeah.
Stop boozing and stop doing whatever else you're doing on the side.
Yeah.
And
look at
get
him.
your shit together.
Look at him here, man. He just
stop
looks...
leaving work to film Iron Man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Stop that. Early lunch, Paul.
Like, hey, y'all want to go out? You want to go out for a drink? It's like it's 10 a.m.
Yeah, 10 a.m. Oh, breakfast then? Yeah.
I think they more or less imply that he quits there. Because I know he later.
Yeah, he doesn't go to
Sacramento B.
I was gonna say, yeah. And then at the end, he's living on a houseboat, getting drunk all the time.
That's where the sister-in-law was telling them that they had spoken to I think like a psychiatrist or something like that, saying that
he said social worker. Yeah.
Social worker. And they said they thought that Lee Allen was definitely capable of killing someone.
What happened to Jay?
Oh,
did he?
He had enough of your shit.
The Zodiac got him.
Zodiac.
He got Paul Steined. His internet.
I don't know.
He was Paul Avery. There you go.
He really was trying out. He's just being ambidextrous right now.
So they were trying to find a doctor to kind of go back. Okay, so Sherwood was the handwriting guy, right? I'm sorry.
They wanted another opinion.
Second opinion. Yeah.
They're desperately wanting to get a warrant so they can search his trailer, and they obviously need something for the DA to actually give them permission.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
So they go to one of his students, basically.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, I don't want to step on his toes, but they're just really trying to find
know
any
if it's
match.
Possible. And he's like, well, different schools of thought. Get the other hand.
Yep. Oh, this is where they go to. This is where they go to his trailer, Lee's trailer. This is fucking crazy because they found, they found the gloves that were some of the gloves that were at the scene, all the ammo and weapons, and they had squirrels all over the fucking place. That was crazy.
By the way, if you've never played L.A. Noire, this scene reminds me of L.A. Noire so much.
What were you saying about squirrels, Whitey? Oh, there you go. 269 soulmates. Another look at the world of love. There you go. That's a nice image for you people.
Oh no.
What were you saying about squirrels, Whitey?
Demonetized.
You see all those squirrels? That's nuts.
Oh, he's back.
Yeah.
That was me?
Yeah.
Yeah, we know how it is.
Try out that left hand, didn't you?
Yeah. Went totally dumb.
Did you have a letter to write, Jay?
He had to go clean himself. He used his left hand this time. He's not used to that.
I was wondering. All of a sudden, circles started going. So I was just like, "What happened here?"
Mm-hmm. You were
Zodiac. I don't know if you noticed because the shot of this is really quick, but they showed that he has basically a wooden dildo with Vaseline all over it.
Vaseline all over it. Yeah, it does happen quick, but yeah.
He was alleged homosexual.
That part is in the book. I read that in the book, and I was like, "Oh, that's what that was in the movie." Oh,
yeah.
So I wondered what that brief shot was. I was like, "What is that?" Then I read
somebody took a shot.
Wooden dildo with Vaseline. That's fun.
Good timing to come in.
Wouldn't that leave splinters?
No. Yeah, varnish.
The Vaseline is the varnish. It just keeps it smoothed down.
You answered that pretty quick, Whitey.
Yeah, that's what the squirrels are for.
He likes the splinter.
Oh God, yeah. This is where he comes home in his nice shorts. But
to be fair, it was that time period where boy shorts were way too fucking short.
That's true. That's very true.
I wonder if Zodiac thought to himself, I should really get the guy who invented this kind of color pattern.
Well, the crazy thing is nothing comes back with a match. You can see it here written out. And they're like, what the fuck? What? Because they
no
really
ballistics, no handwriting, nothing.
They're just like, okay, this is fucking getting crazy. Like, this is where he tells him, take some time off, dude. Like, you go spend time with your
Dermot
family.
Mulroney, he goes, you want a hug?
Yeah, I think at this point, he's just telling you got to take a break, man.
Yeah,
because I mean, and then they go see Dirty Harry, which is based off.
I was just like, I remember first watching this, and I was like, gosh, his chief is a huge dick. But then I was like, but he's having to keep all of these different, detectives and officers in line.
Now
He's probably
Vex
having to hear
left.
about all of these cases too. So I'm like, okay, I can kind of sympathize.
It's the Canadian internet.
Yeah,
I love it how every main character in the movie decided to go see the same movie. It's cool.
I honestly I don't know what's going on. Like, but the lights were on, everything was on. I don't know what happened there. That was weird. It's never happened before.
It's
never happened before.
It's never happened before.
It's never happened before.
Canada.
To be fair, Wyatt, the movie they're showing is Dirty Harry. Interesting. It's Dirty Harry. That's a popular movie, so.
Yeah, I just like how he's like, go see a movie, go relax, and it's the same movie
with every other main character in the movie.
It was pretty funny. He's like, I gotta get out of here. And this is where Grace Smith meets him for the first time, and he's like, yeah, you're gonna catch him. He's like, oh, cool, thanks.
They're already, he says they're already making movies about it, sir. It's like,
yep.
He was lurking.
Yeah. Did you say Vex?
Looming. Yeah. He was looming.
He was looming. What's that L thing I told you that I don't like?
He's BAing.
Oh.
What are the 3 things I told you? Don't BA.
Oh, fuck off.
Don't be a menace.
Yeah, so this is where Paul Avery basically is gone. This is his replacement, I guess. And he's trying to be social, Grace Smith here. I'll give him credit.
Yeah.
Like, the guy before was a great reporter. He's like, yeah, you must be.
Hey, isn't that the Hebrew Hammer?
It is. And from Dazed and Confused, he's
yeah. He's also in Saving Private Ryan.
Oh,
that's right. The Nazi stabs there near at the end.
He's fucking annoying. Every movie he's in, he's just annoying.
He is. Never mind.
I mean, the reporter he's playing. I mean, he's the one who basically screwed over Toski. So
I was gonna say something.
Delicate times.
I was gonna say something, but I don't want to get kicked off.
Yeah.
That's why he was. Yeah, this is where his partner basically tells him. This is where his partner tells him he's quit. He's going to fraud because he's got to be home with his kids. He doesn't want to be on call. I don't blame the guy. If you have a family, it's a tough gig, wants to be home with his family. I can't blame him. He's like, fuck you and your animal crackers. I'm sick of your shit. Stop.
I literally don't know if your wife doesn't cook. I don't know if you have any money or not. You use me every day. I gotta go.
Now, how long
I've had to dig into my 401k just to buy your stupid animal cracker addiction.
Feed you. I get it. You're a big time cop. I can't feed you.
How long was the gap? How long was the gap between killings? Because it was a while, right, before they got another letter.
There was a gap between 1970 and 1974.
Gotcha.
Which I think was when Lee Allen was in prison.
Wasn't it only linked to six murders?
I think he's directly linked to. There's 5 confirmed and several. In a lot that he's linked to.
There's 37 he claimed, but there's only 5 or 6 or 7 that are confirmed to be his.
Now, this movie makes a really good case for why you would think it would be Lee is because of the time that he was serving.
Prison, yeah.
There's a whole lot of circumstantial evidence around Lee Allen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. This is where we go see Paul Avery in his little houseboat. This guy's so fucking. Oh my god, he's a mess. Look, Atari. Yay!
Oh my gosh, he's got video games.
That's how old I had one of these things. I'm like, I'm old. I'm just fucking old. It's just
Pong.
Yeah, Pong. Oh god, I brought back some. The TV. I had a TV just like that too. But yeah, so. He Paul Avery's kind of I don't want to say he is kind of a dick to him here, right? Is it because he's drunk?
Yeah, I mean at this point the impression that I think they're trying to give here is that aside from his various bad habits, that the fear he's lived in since Zodiac threatened him has kind of ruined him.
Yeah.
So when
Grace Smith actually believes it did. I'm pretty sure in one of those 2 books that he wrote that he believes that the threat that Zodiac put out that he put on Paul Avery kind of ruined his life.
So
I
when
can see that.
everybody's life goes to shit, they turn into the Big Lebowski. He's like, sorry, Gyllenhaal, that's like your opinion, man.
Yeah, and he's even saying, am I being unkind? And he's just calling him out on every little thing.
Yeah.
And he's just like, all right, I'm done.
There's something interesting that does happen here, though, because like the whole reason he goes to visit Paul Avery is because his wife is like, the only person that has more Zodiac shit than you is Paul Avery.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So he goes to get the it turns out he doesn't throw it out. He just said it, but it's like, so Paul Avery, like passing on all the file information to Graysmith. You see that Paul Avery is living in this paranoid squalor, and at this point moving forward, now you see that same paranoia start to creep in on Robert Graysmith. And it peaks at one scene quite monumentally as well.
Oh yeah. Which was well
but also
done.
like the way they've presented Graysmith is very much up to this point has been on the sidelines.
Yes. He hasn't been a main
when
character
he sees
yet.
Tosky, he's like, you're gonna catch him, and he goes to Avery suggesting he writes a book basically, and Paul's like, if it's so important, what did you ever do about it? And he just takes that as motivation to do it himself.
Right.
Yep. Yeah, this is where he's basically like trying to get information out of Ruffalo. Oh, this is the hamburger scene that Vex was talking about where Ruffalo
there's another
spits
one
up.
that happens too, but this is one of them. Yeah.
But yeah, so he's basically like, because Ruffalo here just like, I can't give you any information, but if I were going to tell you, this is who.
Well, this is where he shows him that he had gotten the idea about the code breaking books. He's like, everything you need to know about making a code like that would be in these 3 books. And he goes, and I got the idea. If you could track the books, you might be able to track the man. And
weren't they
he
all
basically
stolen
found
from,
out
like,
at all these different
libraries?
military libraries these books went
Right.
missing because somebody didn't want them to know that this guy had been checking them out. And it's like, oh, okay. And he was like,
detail.
It's like, wow, why didn't we think of that?
Yeah, well, too busy chasing trannies around San Francisco. That's why. Yeah, I like this. It was good. It was smart.
Yeah,
it was smart. A nice little.
I think Lance actually knows the actor who plays Ken Narlow here.
He said he did. Yeah,
this is Donald.
He's made mention of this guy before.
Yeah,
he's in a lot of stuff. This guy.
Blade.
I like him. I think he's a good actor.
Yeah, that's the dude from Blade.
Wow. I thought it sounded like him, but I was just like, nah, he looks so different to me. Go him.
Doesn't have that greasy long hair or the sunglasses.
He is in so many things, dude.
Yeah,
he's in a lot. He's in a lot.
He's always good.
Yeah.
Yep.
So here he's trying to convince like all these officers, like, oh, nothing has been happening with Zodiac, so what's the harm in me looking? And then so finally he goes down to the things like, here's these ones, and then there's more over there. He's like, but you can't write anything down, so it's kind of just a quick shot now of him going over all the files. You can keep skipping forward, Cannoli.
I am
not fast enough though.
He says.
I say that a lot. It's okay.
Well, if I want.
Oh, because of the sex.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get it.
I see what you did.
Good.
You must be out there,
and it says on the screen it was all deep breathing.
Look at Gyllenhaal's crazy ass face back there.
Hence the name Sassy.
Oh yeah.
I mean, he is in total freak out mode.
Oh,
that's because he has so much in his brain right now. His mind's going to explode if he doesn't write it down on that napkin right away.
Yeah.
See, right there.
By the way,
that's really good acting.
One little good detail here is that officer who's talking to Elias Cortez is he's the guy who's actually has his job late in the movie. The one who's talking to Majot.
Yeah. Yep.
It's the same.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
He comes in later. Yeah. Yeah, so he meets Ruffalo again, just going over more details. So Darlene
brings up the fact that there wasn't just the phone call that he made to the police. He also made phone calls to various members of Darlene Farron's family, and he and Tosky didn't even know about it. It's like this was in another file, so they never told him.
Yep.
A paint party. I like it. He's like, sounds like
pretty
a
much suggests
party.
that Zodiac had to have known her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because didn't he show up to her party in a suit?
Well, no, this also would confirm that Darlene, in fact, like had she survived, she might have been able to pinpoint who it is that shot her.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy details. Crazy details. So this is Jake Gyllenhaal. This is his new daughter with the new wife, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So many freaking goddamn people in this movie. Oh, this part was fucking funny. He goes to Belle-Eye's house and he's like, he's like, it's cool. I've only been waiting for 2 hours. No big deal. His hair is all disheveled. He's like, oh, cookies. Like, wow.
I wouldn't have been mad to get to talk to the cute Asian maid. It's like, it's fine.
Yeah, and she gave up a lot of information. Like, I was the one who took the phone call.
It turns out she was the one who he probably would have been better off talking to because she's the one who actually took the phone call.
Yeah. Yeah.
And this is where he finds out that the day that he called, it was like, oh, he said it was his birthday.
Yep.
This helps him kind of determine.
Put the pieces together. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
His one weakness, basically.
But Dave is like, just because he says it's his birthday, that doesn't conclusively, he could have been lying, that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Yep. Man, this poor guy. To be this obsessed. Was he ever remarried again? Oh, that might be in the trivia.
Nope.
I don't know.
Didn't remarry again. Nope.
No.
It's like, I wrote a book. I'm rich and famous now. I don't need no woman.
He wrote actually quite a few books. He wrote another crime novel, not novel, but another crime, like nonfiction crime book. So he became a
he wrote about the guy who got killed. That was on Hogan's Heroes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
The lead actor.
Yeah.
He did a lot of snuff stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they made that movie with Greg Kinnear about him. Autofocus, I think it was called.
Autofocus.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I like how his wife here is like always, like, again, when you were saying like the whole absence of danger for him. She's like, what is the Zodiac known to do? Like, because she's worried about him getting found out because he's calling him out and all this shit. It's like, he's like, everything will be okay, don't worry. And then the phone
it's
calls
true.
start
Like
not long after.
it's like, again, like it's the passing over of all that information. Finally, it starts to. He's a mess. He doesn't know what he's really doing because he's consuming all of this information so quickly. So this is where he gets the tip off about a guy named Rick Marshall.
Rick Marshall.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's hell bent
Bob Crane. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
Oh, this is Sherwood. This is the handwriting expert dude. And he's it's
Hall.
Yep.
Very good actor.
His name. He's a very good actor. He's in a lot of stuff. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Is this the part with so this is the scene we get with the first phone call, the heavy breathing, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's movie Bob.
And the wife's just like, yeah, I told you. I know you're lying. Yeah, and then he's hell bent that Rick Marshall. But didn't this cop say that he thought Rick Marshall was his top suspect?
Yeah, that was his. Yeah, Narlo. It was Narlo's favorite suspect.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And he gives him.
He basically lays out a story where he wanted to get. He basically was like interviewing Narlo, and he like handed back some pictures, and he was like, "Oh, I got fingerprints all over this," and wiped them all off. And he was just, the way he got dismissed was on something like really spotty. Like
trivial.
The way he was handled was really bad.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah, there's a lot of. God, there's so much freaking happening in this movie. I love it.
Yeah, it's like with all the information. I mean, granted, you could get lost if you're not paying attention, but it's so enthralling that it's.
Yeah, you want to pay attention.
I found it impossible.
Good.
I found it impossible not to pay attention.
Mm-hmm.
It's so good.
Yeah, and then the phone call that he was on just before, that was the guy who was friends with Rick Marshall, right?
Yeah, it was.
Was that the guy that was
Wallace Penny was the guy's name.
That's him.
And he's the one who said it's a guy named Rick Marshall. And then the poster is from another guy. I'm trying to remember the other guy's name. But that's the house he goes to here in a bit.
Right. Because he thought he wrote movie posters, right? So the handwriting would match. That's the way they can track it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, good. Like he's got his new partner. Would you happen to have any animal crackers? Like this motherfucker.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
Buy your own fucking crackers. Jeez.
Oh, like a typical Ruffalo. He's fucking annoying.
Yeah.
Just like Ruffalo. Oh, yeah. So this is after how many years? This is like
4
right
years.
After, like you said, that 4 years, they finally get another letter. And this is where they think they call him out, right? They think it's him or one of them was him. Yeah.
Yeah. The reporter basically suggests that it's Dave Toschi who wrote the letter because basically like he had written a fake letter once before to like a cartoonist or something like that, or who had created a character based on him. And he wrote like a fake fan letter, like, hey, you should bring this character back, and he used that to suggest that he had done this himself. I know in the Zodiac book, like Graysmith brings up that Sherwin Morrill in particular was pretty pissed off about that suggestion because he's like, if Toschi wrote that letter, then Toschi's the Zodiac killer. That's a Zodiac letter.
Yeah,
yeah.
I like this part too. It's like the worst thing that could have happened to his marriage. So this letter shows up, even though he was still obsessed. Like, and I like how he plays it off.
These carrots are perfect.
Yeah, these carrots. She's like, just go ahead and watch it, please. And he's like, okay. It's like a kid.
Yeah, and see, the
hilarious.
oldest son is like, like this is the only thing that him and his dad have in common. So
Yeah,
he's like,
yeah, so freaking
depressing.
Oh God. Yeah, it's just like I said, there's a lot of information. And then so it was Ruffalo's character. He wasn't kicked off the force. He was just moved to another.
He was
division?
removed from homicide.
Yeah.
Homicide, yeah.
Because of the whole investigation into him, yeah.
Gotcha. This is where he's basically like, just fuck off, man.
Yeah, leave me alone.
Oh, I like how he says the Rick Marshalls of this world will suck you dry. Bad choice of words.
Very poor choice of words.
Bad phrasing there. Rick Marshall will suck you dry. Whoa, it is San Francisco though. So.
And Jake Gyllenhaal is like, is he played by Heath Ledger?
Yeah. Does he wear a cowboy hat?
And this is the time Harvey Milk is going to town. I think
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
I'm trying to solve a crime. There's no time for that.
No time for sucking dry. I like how he
Suck
recruits
me
his
dry,
children.
fellas.
Stop it. He recruits all his children, to help him with his investigation. Like, hey, by the way, don't tell mom. Don't tell mom anything's happening.
Yeah, the little one ain't really pulling her weight though. You saw her; she was drinking milk like a little bit.
No.
Eating a sandwich. Like, come on.
Unionized.
She's probably just like Toschi, just wants animal crackers.
Yeah.
Yeah, the kid he finds the cipher, right? And he's like, Dad, what is this? And he's like, oh shit. And then he actually breaks the cipher. Never mind, Paul Avery's on oxygen at a bar. This is safe for him.
Yeah.
It's a good life. But he breaks the cipher and he goes on the news, and then she's like, what are you doing, man?
Is that oxygen or nitrous?
I thought it was nitrous.
It's
That's
oxygen.
nitrous?
It's oxygen.
Is it oxygen? Okay.
Yeah, because he died of a lung, like a breathing pulmonary. I can't remember
Pulmonary
what's called.
disease.
So yeah, it was. But it,
Embolism?
yeah, there you
pulmonary
go. Yeah,
emphysema.
thank you. No, Sassy got it.
Yeah.
And this is basically where he's like, I gotta go. Like, she wants to talk to him. And right here, this is right. She leaves right after this because she's like, I can't do this anymore.
Well, he made his choice.
Well, this is probably the best. This is probably the most telling line in the movies. She's like, "Why do you have to be the one to do this?" And he's, tell her, he's like, "I need to, look him in the eye. I need to know it's him." It's just kind of showing just how obsessed he's become with this.
Yeah, he's not going to give it up. Yeah. This part is the part we're getting close to the part where I think this is Vex's favorite
Bob
part
Vaughn. That's the guy. That's the character's name. Bob Vaughn. That's the guy's name.
Bob Vaughn.
Yeah.
This
Finally
was
meet
so
somebody
fucking
as weird
well
as
done.
him.
I'm
Yeah.
partly convinced he had something to do with it because the handwriting, he was the one that wrote the posters, and they said that the writing on the posters was as close as they could get to matching. Isn't that
Did
correct?
you get to the part in the? Just curious, Sassy, if you got to the part in the book which describes this scene, because this is real. This happened, and it's in the book, and this is one thing that's a little bit different in the movie because in the movie, obviously, they show him kind of realizing that he's in danger and he's scared. In the book, he only kind of knows in hindsight he was in danger. Like he was like, I in hindsight was pretty naive about what was going on.
Gotcha.
Because I probably shouldn't have done what I was doing there. And I was
What
like,
are we gonna say,
"Dude,
Vex?
what the heck?"
Rick Marshall was one of the top suspects, though. Yes.
Mhm.
He actually lived a block away from where the Paul Stein murder happened at the time as
Oh.
well.
Yes.
Yeah. So there was a lot of circumstantial evidence for him as well, but they couldn't definitely. I think he died in like 2008 or something like that too, or in the 90s. So they could never get DNA. But I love this scene because not only is it
So
fucking creepy as hell,
Yeah.
but it's like not only does he start to piece together little things, but it also because I think like you could argue that maybe he is in the den of his killer right now, but I think this is more indicative of just how paranoid he was starting to become. He starts hearing footsteps upstairs when they're in the basement. He starts thinking that this guy might do something to him. He's afraid that he's about to get killed as well. But nothing ends up happening, at all.
It's just all in his mind,
it's great. It's a great showcase of just like how deep Graysmith is getting into this at this point.
Well, isn't there one point where in his own I thought I saw the wood board up top move too with the dust.
Well, no, that's what I mean. You could say maybe it is happening. Maybe it's just up in his head because old houses do that. It's raining outside. It's very possible.
That's true.
And going by Graysmith's account, that is what he said he saw.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
It's just a question of did he really see it?
I think his paranoia was just kicking in overdrive. It's like kids when they're in the dark and they think that they see something. And
because because he even says not a lot of people have basements, and because that was one of the
things.
Early on in the movie is that he might have had a basement. He's like, well, I do, and it's like, dude, what the fuck? But you're right. Vex is right. They played it. They did this. He did this so well. It's a dark basement, the atmosphere, and like you said, his paranoia. It's like this is a great scene.
So I'm getting chills just seeing you scroll through this. This scene is so fucking creepy. It does not get old at all.
Oh.
And the guy, the way the guy,
the first time I watched this, I didn't think it. I was like, "There's no way this really happened. It's too horror movie."
Yeah,
and then you read the book. It's like, nope, it totally happened. And it's like, oh my gosh.
And the guy's facial features is smirking. You're like, what the fuck? And how he can't get out. Then he unlocks the door, and you're like, oh god.
Okay. They should have had
what did Jessica Rabbit see in him? Oh my god.
But just imagine the feeling. You think you're going to get stabbed, and then the guy opens the door finally, like, oh my god.
Yeah, he's got a lock on the inside like that.
Yeah,
that's what's so freaky to me.
Yeah, this is where he comes home and his wife and kids are gone, and there's a letter on the phone, and
he starts hearing a door open. And he's like,
"Who are you?" And of course, he turns over the note and he sees names. He's like, "Oh, okay, back to what I was doing."
Oh yeah.
So this is Darlene's sister now, Linda.
Yes.
Who he had gotten a tip of, and Linda's in prison now. So this is how now Robert starts to get onto Arthur Lee Allen. Because she's like, oh no, this guy was weird. He'd come over to these parties, but he'd be in a full suit. He'd bring her gifts and all this stuff. He had a short name, and it was Rick, wasn't it? It was Rick. He's like, no, it was Lee. And then that's where
he was very insistent. He's like, no,
he was
Rick
so
Marshall.
He was so obsessed.
He's like,
he wanted it to be Rick. Yeah,
Rick Marshall. Yeah.
Well, it was just the handwriting. Throughout the entire film, they make a point that handwriting is the biggest thing that will help them catch this guy. And up until this point, Rick Marshall is the one that has the best handwriting, right?
Yep.
So that's he keeps, even he's starting to fall into the pit that Dave did in thinking, oh, it has to be Alan. It has to be Alan kind of deal.
Yep.
And this guy's like, come in the morning. He's like, oh god. He's like, I shouldn't even let you in here. You got 5 minutes. Yeah. Then they go through all the details. I like this guy too. He was good in this movie.
Yeah, it really did.
Yeah. Then like you said, you get the heavy breathing again. It's like, dude.
At this point, he just hangs up on him. He's like, dang it,
Yeah, I gotta get back to trying to
over the phone.
Yeah.
Those are also real as well. He was Robert Graysmith did get random calls at all hours of the night.
Heavy breathing.
People just breathing. Yeah.
Look at his fucking apartment, dude. It's just wall to wall files, and even she's like, Jesus Christ, man, what are you doing?
But you know what I liked here is she still gave a shit. She's like, when was the last time you ate? And and she still brought him.
Well, I mean, she still loved them, but she knew at this point she's not going to stop him. So might as well but she even. Doesn't she say just end this now and then please? And
I think at this point the divorce isn't going. Yeah, the divorce isn't happening yet. That's all. But
they're just away from each other.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought she was bringing him also divorce papers.
I thought the same thing
at first. Yeah, at first I did too.
Yep.
But then this is where he figures out the birthday angle. Well, yeah. The 18th, and then he calls and he goes to the guy's house. He's like, I'm gonna kill him.
Where's my gun?
Yeah.
But he convinces him. He's like, holy shit. He tells him, and he's like, yeah, wow, get in the house. I'm
calling the police. You are the police.
I am the police. I just don't like eating meat.
Yeah, and so this is where Dave reveals, of all the people they interviewed, this was the only guy that sent me a letter, and it was typewritten and all this stuff.
Yes.
So then they were just like, okay, let's go. So they go to the diner, and this is where he's like reveals like there's the files say like do not disqualify on handwriting, like you gotta ignore what Sherwood says kind of thing. Then he links all the weird things with the investigation, and then the selling point that he like, oh yeah, he moved a couple days after he was interviewed by the police and all that stuff.
Mhm.
And then the thing that ends up selling Dave is like he explains to him like he lived in his mother's basement at the time that Darlene was killed. And if you look at where he lived, it was door to door, less than 50 feet from the diner where
Yeah.
Darlene Farron worked.
Yep.
Oh God. Wow.
It's such a great dissemination of the just kind of. It's a really good rundown of kind of the case against Arthur Lee Allen. It's such a fantastically written and acted scene.
Yeah.
It's my
And,
favorite part of the movie.
Right. And they also show like, why didn't you get letters for 4 years? Because Alan gets arrested, and then as soon as he gets out, you get a typewritten letter from him, and then everyone else gets their first Zodiac letter in almost half a decade.
Half a decade.
Yeah,
oh
that's
God.
crazy.
But it was all like it was still circumstantial because they couldn't like there was no hard evidence, right?
Nope.
Right. Thanks for breakfast.
But he gives him that little
CLS
last bit of encouragement, like finish your book, because he's kind of like, you need to finish the book because this might be the only way anyone knows.
What were you saying, Vex? Sorry.
No, I was just gonna say CLS. Andrew's sick. That's all.
Yeah,
That's
poor
why
dude.
there
Hope
wasn't
he's
a
all right.
stream yesterday.
Yeah. This part was great. This part was great where he goes into the hardware store and he sees him. Because like
Well,
this is
ties
his
back
whole
to,
thing.
like, I need to see him, right? And
His face, yeah, look into his eyes. Oh my God. And then like the way he looks at him and the way Lee
And
looks
this
back
is described
at
in the
him.
book also, by the way.
Yeah. It was so fucking creepy because he's like, is this the real
I can't
guy?
wait to finish it. It's going to be good.
Well, because you have to think
Yeah.
Arthur Lee Allen would know who. I mean, because that book had grown in popularity. The book, I'm pretty positive, was out at that point.
No, it was out in '86.
Didn't that come out until '86? Huh?
Yep, didn't come out
No.
till
Okay.
'86. Yep.
Oh.
Okay.
And he has
But
like,
if Arthur Lee Allen was the Zodiac, then he would know who Robert Gray Smith is.
Yeah.
I like this
him
part here,
looking
'cause
at
he
him that way. It's like, I know who you are.
yeah, because
so
he,
now-
he opens up his briefcase and he's got the book there, and you're like, oh,
So
okay.
Mike Mageau, this is like the older version of Mike Mageau. So this is partially fictionalized, but there's some accounts that say like, yeah, he did point to Arthur Lee Allen, but he didn't say it exactly like how is said here. But remember, Mike Mageau, like they tried to interview him earlier in the film, and he was just like, as soon as he got out of the hospital, he dipped. Nobody
was
knows.
gone, yeah.
He's just gone.
Nobody knows
And
where
honestly,
he is.
if you watch the interviews with him in the special features, he's a bit of a strange guy. He probably wouldn't be seen as all that reliable.
Yeah, and a lot of people have pointed that out too, because like because he got shot quite a few times, and he had to undergo a lot of therapy. He did a lot of like psychiatric treatment. He was on a lot of drugs. So a lot of people say like, yeah, Mike Mageau was a witness, but don't trust him because you know his stuff is going to be thrown off by all the shit that he's been through since, and he's definitely got PTSD as well.
Yeah.
Fucking watched his girlfriend die in front of him.
Yeah, of course.
Right.
And I think this is where they give the little details. I hope I don't know if it'll go through all of them because I'm going to skip through, but yeah, it gives a lot of information.
Yeah,
As
so
to,
Alan died of a heart attack in '92 before people were able to bring him in based on Mike Mageau. They got a partial DNA from an envelope. It didn't match Alan. Avery died in 2000. Dave Toshke was cleared of all the charges from the '78 letter. And Robert Graysmith, he's still alive. Actually, he's just an author now, and he's hasn't gotten a single call since Arthur Allen died.
Wild.
One interesting fact about the whole the stamps with the DNA. The friend that they portray in the movie, which gave them all that information on Lee Allen, has said that there were times where with Lee Allen that he actually licked stamps and for letters. I was like, huh.
Which
that's
would explain why
interesting.
they could never get a DNA match. But also, like, it kind of does lend some credence to there might have been multiple people, like, in on it, right?
I believe it.
I have a question, though, too, is that he was, I don't know, was he just so smart he didn't get caught, yet his letters were so illiterate. He couldn't spell, he couldn't speak, he couldn't articulate and put sentences together. How was it that he was so smart that he didn't get caught?
I don't think it was smart. It was just again, like it's detailed that a lot of the police that were like first on the scene and everything, evidence was botched, evidence was lost, like accounts were lost. So it was just and because of all the media circus too, that skewed a lot of things. So it's more. I feel like it's more like
it was a
dumb luck.
clusterfuck. Yeah.
Well, you know what?
Well, in the movie, they say they like his sister-in-law actually tells Bill Armstrong in the movie, at least, and I'm pretty sure this is true, that he would misspell words on purpose.
No,
Like,
they did say that, but I'm just saying, like, also it's not completely like weird to think that someone during that period, because like the illiteracy rate in the U.S. is pretty high, like state to state, regardless. So like it wouldn't, and he was also a guy that was in the army for a very long time. And there was clearly something off about him because he could never also find like pretty decent employment, especially after his arrest. So I don't think it's unreasonable to think that like he was not a very literate person. That's all.
The psychology around it, just the way that they in the book they were saying, well, because of the way he writes or the way he speaks, he can't be somebody that works hard with his hands. He's got to be delicate. He's got to be. It's just interesting. And then one part that I was thinking of too that I just read in the book is that
gotta pay for that, Nos.
$3.50.
Hey, give me a super chat. I'll mute her.
What I read recently in the book is that I don't know if you remember this, Cannoli, but the door handle was missing on the door of Darlene. Well, when the vehicle was returned for evidence or something, the door handle was put back on. So that's when they first thought that somebody within like the police department or somebody who had more connections was involved due to this piece of information. It was interesting. The book does have a lot of different pieces to this that they don't put in the movie, such as that. But
well, even Bagface, the puzzles that he gave were also full of lots of spelling errors as well.
Yes. Yep. Yeah, there was a lot of leftover letters too.
Well, plus, if he was reading code books, he could kind of just decipher a lot of that.
Yeah, and it's also kind of like how autistic people, like or people that are really high on the spectrum, like they can often like say relay message a lot, but if you kind of give them something that's more structured, they don't understand how to do it, kind of deal. So
that makes sense.
Yeah.
All right,
plus, he might just have been giving them ciphers that were meaningless. Even he might have just been giving them ones to mess with them. They might have had no meaning whatsoever.
Well, isn't that what Paul Avery was basically saying? Is that he was lying a lot of the time. He was full of shit like with a lot of stuff. So that could be true.
Steve, Fiona is back. She was in Echo's chat earlier today. She was just taking a break. That's all.
What's up, Lofty? I see you.
Hey, Lofty. Good to see you.
Lofty.
Lofty.
Yeah, you're up with the trivia. I'm sure there's plenty of good stuff. So go ahead.
All right. So Zodiac came out on March 2nd, 2007. It debuted at number 2 and came out the same day as Black Snake Moan and Wild Hogs.
Oh, yeah, two great movies.
Wild Hogs.
Yeah. So the other movies that were in the theater at the time were Bridge to Terabithia, Ghost Rider, The Number 23, and Norbit.
So nothing good at all. What the shit week of movies?
Norbit. Wow. Wait, I can't concentrate. Which Vex face should I look at?
Oh yeah,
Thank you. Come again.
Whatever one you're not afraid of.
I have information that will lead to the answer of a crime.
The budget was $65 million. After worldwide release, it made just under $85 million.
Okay,
really? That's it.
That's a big budget for 2007.
To be fair, David Fincher is pretty notorious for having higher budgets. That's one of the big reasons why Mindhunter never got a season 3.
He does a lot of takes, so that's very
lot of takes.
No, I get it, but look how good.
Yeah,
Mindhunter was the best thing Netflix had. And they get rid of
God, I'm still pissed that they won't.
Until Blue Eye Samurai and Arcane.
You know what? I can't believe that David Fincher was still on with Netflix, and we got that shitty fucking movie, The
Killers,
which was about 100 to 150 million allegedly, and that money could have been directed into season 3.
I like The Killer.
You're a fucking pumpkin.
What?
So your opinion doesn't matter.
Killer was so friggin' slow and boring. Like, oh my god.
Was that the one movie you said had it? But COVID might have had a factor into why it was.
It just came out with what's his name?
Michael Fassbender.
No. I know the movie, but I'm saying I remember you mentioned that, or maybe you or somebody else said it was being made.
It was filmed during COVID. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's no excuse for a fucking shit movie. I'm sorry.
No.
Oh my god.
Especially
God damn you, Gord! Look what you started. I'm just kidding.
Rebel Moon, and that.
Movie up.
Rebel Moon. That
Actually,
we
it's
can't
a good
get
movie.
Mindhunter.
Oh, I thought you said Rebel Moon was a good movie. I was about to kick you off.
No. You know my thoughts on Rebel Moon.
Sorry, Vex. Go ahead, lady.
Now,
Go
Lord,
ahead.
about my trivia.
So because he wanted the film to be as accurate as possible, I think I said some of this, but I have more. David Fincher decided not to depict any of the alleged Zodiac murders for which there were no surviving victims or witnesses, even went as far as recreating one-for-one scenes and outfits based off real evidence. Hold on. So the trees had to be helicoptered into the Lake Berryessa location as the area had substantially changed since 1969, and David Fincher wanted to resemble the murder site as closely as possible. David Fincher, along with screenwriter James Vanderbilt and producer Bradley Fisher, spent 18 months conducting research into the Zodiac murders. They interviewed witnesses, family members, suspects, retired and active investigators, both of the only two surviving victims, as well as the mayors of San Francisco and Vallejo. And then, the cab scene. I told you about that. That was shot on a different set just outside of Los Angeles. Only a few seconds of actual footage shot in the original crime scene location remains in the film. So that's just some of the exterior shots. But yeah, that's as far as he went to get things accurate. They also hired a private investigator to track down Mike Mageau.
No, Mageau.
Wow.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Like I said, he's interviewed in the special features.
Yeah.
Gotta watch those.
I gotta get this said special features. Canoli, get on that.
Yeah, I'll get right on that.
Thank you,
tomorrow.
sir.
Hair was digitally added to the close-up of Jake Gyllenhaal's knuckles as he draws or holds letters. Fincher felt that Gyllenhaal's hands were, quote, too hairless and pretty.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's an odd take.
Were they hairless and pretty in Brokeback Mountain?
I knew. I was just fucking waiting for you to say that, Canoli.
Hairy knuckles going play. Never mind.
I know you like the back of my hand.
So the hardest. Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Keep jokes. Don't worry.
The hardest code to crack, which was known as Code 340, was the one that was decoded or decrypted in December of 2020. The letter read, "I hope you are having lots of fun in trying to catch me. That wasn't me on the TV show." So the Melvin Belli show. Which brings up a point about me. I'm not afraid of the gas chamber because it will send me to a paradise all the sooner because I now have enough slaves to work for me. Where everyone else has nothing when they reach paradise, so they are afraid of death. I am not afraid because I know that my new life will be easy on in paradise death. A lot of spelling errors, a lot of just grammatical errors.
Yeah.
I'm glad you read that because I don't know. Oh, that's obviously not in the book, but I did not know that they did the third letter. So that was very interesting.
Yeah. It wouldn't have been in the book after the point that was. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Thanks, R2.
R2. Canoli's interested. I'll send you a Venmo.
Always R2. Always.
That's a pretty stiff fee.
Right.
PayPal.
Yeah.
George Lucas gave an interview to Empire magazine once stating that the Zodiac murders captured his imagination at the time as a high schooler and then college student at USC. And he always felt that Toski. I don't know why I can't get this. Yeah.
It's fine. I can't say it either. Dave.
And always felt like Toski was harshly judged for how the investigation was handled. He explained this is why he named a location on Tatooine Toski Station in honor of the San Francisco inspector.
Oh, cool.
Okay. That's a good, nice.
Daniel Tosh.
In order to save time, David Fincher digitally added in all the blood in the murder scenes that we see.
Makes sense.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't want to waste ketchup. I get it.
Right. Robert Downey Jr. was so unaccustomed to the experience of both David Fincher's multiple takes and the process of filming digitally that he rebelled against Fincher for, quote, having no time to get my shit together in my trailer, end quote, by hiding mason jars full of his urine on set. Downey finally acquiesced to Fincher's demands, recalling, quote, I just decided, aside from several takes, I wanted to grate him, that I was going to give him what he wanted. I think I'm a perfect person to work for him because I understand gulags.
I'm Tony Stark, bitch.
What a diva. Jeez.
Well, he's,
I know. They're all fucking weird.
Mm-hmm. Talks with Sony fell through when the studio insisted that the film should not be any longer than 2 hours and 15 minutes. Warner Brothers and Paramount agreed to share the production costs, even though a talkie film with an inconclusive ending was a tough sell. An early version of Zodiac ran 3 hours and 8 minutes.
Oh, I want to watch that version.
It was supposed to be released in time for Academy Award consideration, but Paramount felt that the film ran too long and asked Fincher to make changes. Contractually, he had a final cut, and once he reached a length that he felt was right, the director refused to make any further cuts. To trim down the film on its official runtime, he had to cut a 2-minute blackout montage of hit songs signaling the passage of time from Joni Mitchell to Donna Summer. So we got like a short bit of that in the actual film.
Mm-hmm.
It was replaced with title cards that read 4 years later. Another cut scene that test screening audiences did not like involved 3 guys talking into a speakerphone to get a search warrant as Toschi and Armstrong talked to SFPD Captain Marty Lee, which was Dermot Mulroney's character, about their case against Arthur Lee Allen. Fincher said that this scene would probably be put back on the DVD. I don't know if it was, though.
Gord?
Unless we didn't have to listen to Joni
recall
Mitchell.
if that one was actually put on the director's cut or not.
Okay. Also, Dermot Mulroney had to wear a fat suit because David Fincher thought that he was way too fit to be a police captain.
Wow.
There you go, Vex. R2's got said that this story would make an awesome video game in a Batman Arkham or Red Dead style.
Well, there is a
R2.
game,
It's called L.A. Noir.
I was going to say it's L.A. Noir.
Well, there's also one called Heavy Rain that's kind of got.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Heavy Rain's honestly not that good. I don't like that game that much. I think it's kind of dumb.
Nobody asked you. I'm just kidding.
In multiple scenes throughout the film's soundtrack, a lone trumpet is frequently heard playing a 4-note motif and is a homage to a piece by American composer Charles Ives, aptly entitled "The Unanswered Question."
Ooh, I like that.
The film pays homage to 1971's Dirty Harry, whose foe Scorpio was based on the Zodiac murderer. Another fictional policeman also encountered a foe called Scorpio around this time. In Graysmith's book, they note that around the time of the Zodiac murders, the police investigated a possible connection to the Dick Tracy comic strip, as Dick Tracy faced a Zodiac-themed gang directed by a mastermind called Scorpio.
Yep, I read that. That was in the book.
Yeah.
And then there was Mr. Scorpio on the Simpsons.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Yeah. That's a cannoli connection right there, guys.
I don't fucking have it.
You loser.
You didn't play Vex Trivia's face, so you're slacking.
Yeah, Happy New Year, motherfucker.
Welcome to 2024 where nothing changes.
We love it. All right.
Clint Eastwood refused permission for any of his scenes from Dirty Harry to be used for the screening that Graysmith and Toschi attend. David Fincher told Total Film, quote, "He didn't want to be in a serial killer movie. I guess he's done enough of them."
Hey, White Bear, say it's a cannoli connection again.
It's too late.
It's too late.
It's the moment's past, bro.
Only when the moment works. Sorry.
Never mind. I didn't even find it.
You know how it goes when you're in the mood and then it passes. Forget it.
Yeah, quite often.
After
faster
Zodiac...
cannoli, faster.
Right.
That's a cannoli disconnection.
Oh, zip.
After Zodiac's bus threat is released to the public, Robert is discussing the water theory in regards to how Zodiac chooses his victims with Lake Berryessa, Blue Rock Springs, Washington, and Cherry. The film's palette makes the color blue very prevalent in most of the scenes. Some examples include Zodiac's letters are written in blue ink. The first read by the editor, who is wearing a blue shirt. When reading the decoded cipher that introduces Avery and Graysmith to each other, they're both wearing blue shirts. Robert wears a blue shirt in every scene he's in. There's quite a few of these, mostly just in outfits. Everyone's wearing blue. Yeah.
Even Lee was wearing like a blue, jumpsuit.
Coveralls. Yeah, his coveralls are dark blue. Yep.
Even that whore had blue on.
Blue and white flowers.
Actually, the woman that he pulls over is wearing a blue jacket.
Ew.
So Arthur Lee Allen is played by John Carroll Lynch. On October 6, 1969, the real Arthur Lee Allen was interviewed by a Vallejo PD detective whose name was John Lynch.
Oh wow!
Ooh, wow!
Pretty creepy.
That's wild.
Zodiac received 28 nominations in total from all different award shows, but only won one, which was the Dublin Film Critics Circle Award for Best Director. It's believed that because Zodiac was released so early in the year in March and was up against heavyweight contenders like No Country for Old Men, There Will Be Blood, and Atonement.
Yeah,
2007 was
Country.
stacked. That's one of the last like great years of movies.
Those are really good movies. Yeah.
I do have a little bit of casting trivia.
Oh,
yay!
Please do. My favorite part.
Christopher Walken.
No, it's not that interesting.
Let me guess. They
David
tried to
Fincher
find
attempted to cast Arthur Lee Allen and Rick Marshall.
Oh, Lofty
He was
said
trying to
Pan's
be
Labyrinth.
really accurate.
Pan's Labyrinth came out in 2007 too.
It did. Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
All right, go ahead, Vex. Sorry.
No, you're good. So Jake Gyllenhaal was David Fincher's first choice for Robert Graysmith, but his second choice was Orlando Bloom.
Oh God,
Oh.
no.
No.
We're taking the killer to Isengard. No, no.
I don't think he doesn't have the tism as much as Gyllenhaal does. He did a good job.
Well, Gyllenhaal's a good actor.
Yeah, there you go.
Orlando
wouldn't be
Bloom
able to
playing
keep
an
hair
elf,
on
that's
those
fine.
knuckles.
But otherwise,
Yeah, Orlando
can't
he could play a gay elf. It's fine. We're good with that. But
Zero hair on the knuckles.
So David Fincher initially wanted to cast Brad Pitt as Paul Avery.
I could see that one. I could see that.
Yeah, a little bit. He's a
Maybe.
little nuts. I could see that maybe.
But just
maybe
because
young
of
Pitt.
Seven, right? They
Yeah.
worked together on Seven.
Yeah,
so,
I could see that.
Ruffalo's so replaceable, though, in my opinion. So
I could see that part going to.
Yeah.
Pitt.
Well, he said Paul. Well, you said Paul Avery, didn't you?
Yeah, that's Robert Downey Jr.'s character.
Yeah. Not Pesky, Paul Avery.
Yeah, I can
And
see that.
The studio's
I
first
just hate-
choice. Sorry, go ahead.
I'm just bitching. Okay, go ahead.
Let's go ahead, Vex.
The studio's first choice for Paul Avery was Daniel Craig.
No.
No.
What? No.
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 And then just a little more casting fun facts. Jennifer Aniston was a big reason why Mark Ruffalo and Jake Gyllenhaal got cast in this movie.
No shit.
Yeah.
Thanks, Jen.
Yeah, thanks. They finally did something for you to help us.
Maybe
Yeah, it
that's
was
why
what-
Brad Pitt wasn't cast though, because they would have been getting divorced at that point.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
She's like, don't pick him. He's a piece of shit.
Interesting.
And I
love
want
her.
Angelina cast as one of the victims.
No, he would have been with Lips. What's her name?
Angelina Jolie.
Angelina Jolie. Yeah.
Yeah.
Gosh, Jay, I just said that.
Oh, sorry.
Oh,
Take
good
the
job.
dildo out of your ears.
Good job, Vex. As always, excellent work on the trivia. I love the trivia. All right, I guess we can go around the panel and give our reviews or ratings. I'll start with Sassy. If you had to give this a ranking, any ranking system you want, what would you give this movie?
Well, I would give it an 8 out of 10 just because I was extremely fascinated. Maybe a 9. Actually, I'm going to go as high as a 9. The only reason I'm not giving it as a 10 is because these fuckers couldn't solve the mystery. So I'm disappointed.
But that's not the film's problem. That's
It left you with blue balls.
problem.
It left her with blue balls.
It left me with blue balls. Exactly. No, it was a there's a hair. I was
The hairy-
distracted by my hairy boobs.
Look at your hairy boobs.
I actually thought it was excellent. I mean, can you give it I guess I could give it a 10. I didn't see any issues with it at all. I thought it was very well acted, very well written. I loved just the way that they portrayed everything. And I'm enjoying the book a lot more, I think, because there's more detail. So I'm still like in my mindset where I'm trying to I've got the book and the movie both in my head. So I'm trying to differentiate them because I did it both at the same time. So you know what? Let's just give it a perfect 10. And I really want to rewatch it again after I read the book, finish it, because I feel like there's some things I missed because there's so much
A lot
information.
of details.
It's
Yeah.
a
So
lot.
much
And then
information.
read Graysmith's second book, Zodiac Unmasked, and then watch it again.
I
So
know.
you wrote
I
2
think
books
I
on
will
it.
because I have not done a deep dive into Zodiac. I have every other serial killer. Yeah, everything I know, but the Zodiac was last on my list for some reason. So
I'm actually really surprised that you would never deep dive. 'cause
Right?
That's kind of like the first one that most people go to because
I know.
you could argue he's the most famous unsolved one aside from Jack the Ripper.
yeah, no, it was
I was quite surprised when I heard that.
Yeah, I know, me too. I'm like, in all of the true crime podcasts I've listened to. I mean, I've done so many deep dives, and I can't believe that I haven't really dove into this. So we'll just give it a 10 out of 10 because it was so amazing. I don't know why I was being so stingy with 8. It was a perfect movie in my opinion. So,
thank you, Gooch. Jake
Oh, you're
Gooch.
welcome.
What about you, buddy?
The last half of the movie, I was trying to remember, but I remember it was very intense. I love the setting, the lighting, the gritty feel, that 60 feel, the 70s feel. I liked all that. I'm not a big Jake Gyllenhaal fan, so like I try to get over that, but like I would still give the movie probably an 8.5 Gooch tickles. But I mean,
nice.
Yeah, I remember watching this. I remember I was a paramedic at the time. I remember watching this, and we're in the paramedic hall, and we were really, really like. And then we got called for a homicide, which was interesting.
Oh, that's good.
But yeah, it was. It's a great film. It's a very good film. Yeah, 8.5.
Solid. There you go.
I love serial killers. Me and Vex have also talked about this too.
Yeah, that's something to keep in consideration. I'm going to keep that on the back burner. Gord King Pumpkin Boy, what about you? Let me guess, this is a 12 out of 10 for you?
Well, I don't. I was going to tell the people in the chat and everyone. This is, usually I wait for an invite to a show, but when you all told me you were doing this movie, I think I demanded to be on.
Yeah, I think I remember.
I think I said I have to be on this one. This is in my personal top 10 all time. I absolutely love this film. Like I said, first time I watched it, I only caught like the last hour to hour and a half, and it was so enthralling that I started it over and watched the 2 hour and 40 minutes of it all over again. Kind of became mildly obsessed with the case for about 3 to 5 weeks, I think, where I just was reading everything I could on it. Nice. And yeah, I think it's an incredible movie. I probably watch it once or twice a year. It's never boring. It's a movie that just gets you sucked in so well. It's
Rick
really,
Marshall likes to suck things.
Exactly. Yeah, it's exceptionally well written, well directed. It's funny because it can't. Three movies from this year are probably in my top 20. This, There Will Be Blood. Well, actually, it's 4. This, There Will Be Blood, No Country for Old Men, and Hot Fuzz are all in my top 20, top 25.
That was a good year for movies.
It's such a good 310 to Yuma's remake came out that year. There's so many good movies.
Another
this
good
year.
movie.
Zodiac is my favorite from that year, which is saying a lot.
Wow.
That's a tough choice to make for me. But yeah, this is a 10.
Awesome. Appreciate it, buddy. Vex, give us your thoughts.
This is also a rare Vex 10 out of 10. I avoid giving 1s out of 10s and 10s out of 10s because I feel like that's being just really biased. But 10 out of 10, this is also a top 10 movie for me. It's like I said earlier, every time you watch it, it feels like you're watching it for the first time because there is such an insane amount of detail in there. It's the most factual and kind of true to events, like based on a true story movie I've ever watched as well, which is why I rank it high. For all the information that there is on Zodiac 2, I actually am fine that there are certain details that they cut out, just because this movie really just highlights the big points of the investigation. And honestly, if you even when you're reading the book, you would argue too that most of the stuff that you read in the book is in there anyways in one way or another. So it's not like you're missing a lot. All the performances are great. I don't like Mark Ruffalo, but he's fine here. RDJ is just himself, but again, it works for what they're doing. Jake Gyllenhaal, I think he's a good actor.
Me too.
Sorry, Jay.
No. It's all.
Sorry.
Right?
Yeah. I think he's a great actor. There's a stellar cast in here. Just David Fincher just fucking
nails it.
Knocked it out of the park. This is a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful movie. Just 10 out of 10. Yeah.
Can I just talk about Jake there for a second?
Sure.
He's put out some he's played some really good roles. It's just something about him just kind of throws me off sometimes, and
it's the Jew blood, isn't it?
Oh, oh, she went there. I love it. Wow, I was gonna make that joke.
That's why he only gives this movie a 9 out of 10.
But I also, of all the horror or the crime movies, I would love to see him do the Night Stalker with Robert Ramirez. Is it Robert Ramirez?
The old school, the old school.
Robert.
Yeah,
Ramirez,
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Him crawling in through windows and grabbing kids out of the window and
What
living
is
in
with
that.
the fucking?
Oh,
that would be creepy as fuck.
That would be intense. I would love to see someone do that. The Night Stalker, Night Stalker. Yeah,
I feel like there's a Night Stalker series or something in the works, actually.
There was one on Netflix. They did the one on Netflix.
But that's a true crime series. I'm talking about an actual show.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay. Look it up. While you're doing that, White Bear.
Give it a goog.
All right, so I probably have to give this 8.5 animal cracker boxes out of 10. I think most of it was super duper well acted, as I said before. Wait, that's the wrong picture. Okay, I think. Here we go. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so I think Ruffalo was easily replaceable. I mean, he did good with what he did, but he's still a vegan, and no offense, Mrs. Sassy. I just don't really enjoy his acting at all.
I can't stand him. I want to punch him.
He's annoying. He's my Gyllenhaal, and I hear you about Gyllenhaal. Someone leaves this something behind, something wanting. So yeah, I'd probably have to give it 8.5 animal crackers. It was a great movie and interesting. The story behind it is just so damn interesting. I'm so glad that they made this movie.
Yeah.
So there's been quite a few movies on the Night Stalker. The last one came out in 2016, and it had Lou Diamond Phillips as Ramirez.
Really?
Ramirez.
Why did I not? I don't remember any of this.
I don't remember.
I don't think it was a big even the 2002 and 2009 films. These don't look like these were big releases, but yeah, it doesn't look like anything is actually in production. You know what? In all honesty, that just might be one of those things that is almost too much to show in a film or a TV series, because it is quite creepy, all the shit that he did and how violent he got.
Even the dentist stuff would be just insane.
Yeah, so I could understand, but at the same time, we also got that fucking disgusting Dahmer series on Netflix a couple of years ago. So,
oh God, that was shit. Yeah.
Yep.
Well, that's my boy Ryan Murphy.
Fuck Ryan Murphy.
Oh, I can't stand that piece of shit. Me, sorry. I give this 9 hairy knuckles out of 10. It is definitely, as far as true crime movies go, I think most people are right when they say it is probably the best adaptation. I do want to read the book now, though. I'm very interested in it because I would like to go one for one and see.
Just audiobook it. I have it on my app, on the different app. It's a different app.
Yeah, it's the aesthetic of the movie, that just the creepy. Fincher's just really a master with this stuff, and the acting, again, I'm with you guys. Ruffalo, I just want to punch him in the face every time I see him on screen. It doesn't matter if he's good or not. I can't stand looking at him. I don't know why. He's just one of those guys. I like Gyllenhaal. I think Gyllenhaal's an underrated actor. I think he does a great job here. Vex is right. Robert Downey Jr. is just being himself, but she said, it does work for what the character needed to do. But overall, like Jay said earlier, while we were scrubbing, it puts you into that time period, just the way the lighting is and the costumes, and it's you see that $65 million or whatever it was. Yeah, 65 was well spent. It's a great movie. It's definitely in my top 20 after rewatching it, which is kind of tough because I like a lot of movies. So yeah, that's it. So that is Zodiac. Yes.
Oh, sorry. I was going to ask, since Fincher did both of them, what does everyone prefer, this or Seven? Since they're both serial killer movies.
This.
Seven's good.
I'm obviously in camp for this.
Seven. I love Seven.
Seven is really damn good.
I think
Seven's great. That's why I think it's. I mean, I think it's either choice.
I prefer this. I prefer this just a little bit more. Only because
they're both great.
They're both great movies. Actually, Seven's a movie I want to rewatch. Now that you mentioned that. But I think just because of what Zodiac was and what it's just like you said, this unsolved true story. It's like it was It takes the cake. It's a little bit step ahead, but they're really, really close. They're neck and neck with each other. It's fantastic.
But that ending for 7 just throws you off the edge, man.
Oh, it's great.
I need to watch it again because I don't remember it. I know I watched it, so I think watching it again would almost be like watching it for the first time. It's been so long.
Kevin Spacey.
I'm actually surprised you don't remember that movie. Because
see what I'm saying?
Hard and all.
I've been through a lot of fucking trauma. All right, I have only so much room in my brain for shit.
I remember seeing that because that came out in '97, so I was like 12, I think, when I first saw it. And the scene with the knife dildo is seared into my fucking memory.
Well,
you know what's seared into my memory about 7 is y'all know that YouTube channel, I think it's called Looper. They're kind of like Watch Mojo.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
They did a list where they tried to say that Brad Pitt's performance in that last scene was bad, and I was like, you all are retarded. What? That is phenomenal acting.
No,
that's the scene where I realized, oh my gosh, Brad Pitt's a great actor.
Yes.
Yeah.
In all fairness, when that movie came out, I was too busy getting thrown out of my house and living in Canoli's downstairs bedroom at his parents' house.
Yeah,
and my car getting set on fire. So excuse me if I don't remember the details.
I could have made a true crime fucking story about her life. No. 7 is a definite rewatch.
I need to rewatch it. Yeah. Shieldwald is right. Who let you watch that movie at 12, Vex?
I was watching TV when I wasn't supposed to.
That's how we all do it.
Vex broke the rules. What a shit. No, I'm just kidding.
7. That gluttony scene. Oh my god.
Well, that's why I didn't see Blair Witch until I think I was like 15 or 16 because the same thing. My parents were like, "You are never watching that movie."
Oh, that scared the shit out of me.
Yeah. So yeah.
7's a rewatch. Spacey, despite him being a fucking lunatic, is a great actor. I mean,
that's why
Morgan
he's a fucking lunatic.
Kaiser Souze.
Morgan Freeman and Pitt Young. It's a great movie. So that's a rewatch.
We need to rewatch that soon.
And they do the smart thing and kill Gwyneth Paltrow at the end.
I do remember that. Yeah.
What's in the box? Okay, anyway.
I'm pretty sure she was only cast in that role because Brad Pitt was dating her at the time.
Probably.
You know
that
strong...
box. Yeah. That box had a vagina scented candle in it.
I was gonna. Oh, you took it out of my.
Take it right out of your gooch.
Took it right out of your gooch, baby.
Yeah.
Vex had some strong words about Gwyneth Paltrow last night.
She's
like, you said you didn't like her. You said she's a fucking terrible actress. You don't remember?
She
this?
is a terrible actress. Yeah, but those aren't harsh words. Those are normal words.
No, you were saying other things. I didn't get into specific details, but you went hardcore Vex on her. And I agree. I don't like her. Anyway,
White hair as Austin Powers gets me every fucking time.
It's so bad.
It fits so fucking well.
Why does it match so well?
So before we go, let's go around the horn one more time, find out what's going on with these lovely people and their channels. Mrs. Sassy Sasquatch.
Yeah, hi there. So I am not doing a Mean Girls review. I sent a image of what my thumbnail would look like to Vex, and she goes, "Who the fuck are these people on the thumbnail?" And if it doesn't resonate with Vex, nobody's gonna fucking click on my review, and it's not gonna hit the algorithm. So we're gonna scratch that. And just catch me on Sunday on Mrs. Sassy Sunday stream. Got lots to talk about. Is that all I'm doing this week?
Talk about vagina dresses.
Vagina dresses and being born with that. I will be reviewing. What's that movie called, Vex? Filling up? Fitting in.
It's not out yet.
Filling up.
Oh, but the trailer.
Wow.
I'll be talking about that. So just catch me on Sunday.
It's not out yet, though.
No, the trailer. The trailer dropped.
Oh, you came out. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Is your tism acting up?
When is it not?
Anyway, so that's me. Nothing this week. Just catch me Sunday.
Catch me outside. How about that? Gooch Man.
Oh, geez. Well,
he has a stream every single night, sometimes two.
Well, yeah, tonight was 4. Yeah.
Wow.
Tomorrow night I'm off. I'm taking the night off. I'm not doing anything. Wednesday
no Blue
night
Eyes Samurai left to review.
That's Thursday night.
Oh,
Thursday night.
The finale, right?
Yeah, the finale. Tomorrow night I have the Oracle, the coach himself, the coach MC.
Nice.
He's coming on. We're gonna be
awesome
talking and looking at his career, looking at his masterclass acting, coaching and looking forward to that. Great guy.
Good dude.
Thursday is the finale for Blue Eye Samurai. Really looking forward to that with the guys, Amateur and Stupenzo. I think Copa said he's going to try to make it on, and anyone else that wants to come on that's watched Blue Eye Samurai, hit me up. I'd love to get your takes on it. It's a great series. We had a lot of fun with that. Friday, oh God, I'm supposed to be somewhere Friday. I guess somewhere Friday. Saturday, you can catch me on Saturday Night Hypnosis. I'll be on there with Hypno and the crew, and Leon. And last Saturday I had a debate with Leon, so that was fun.
Sorry to cut you off, but this is exactly why I'm not doing the review. Nobody fucking knows it's coming out.
To be fair, it's not a remake, so there was a musical that came out after the movie, and this version of this upcoming movie is based on the musical,
not the movie. Yeah.
So, but it features some of the original cast members from the first film, like Tina Fey and the guy that plays the principal.
That's it. Yeah. And they race swapped and gay swapped, and it's just awful. Yeah. So anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
What were you saying? What was your argument about, Jay, or your debate?
Oh, it was based on this woman who does the voice acting for the voiceovers for My Hero Academia, and she's talking about in front of all these fans. She just out of nowhere starts talking about how she has a vagina and that these people don't get laid anyway. And I'm just like, that's really nice. Yeah, tell your fans they don't get laid and that you got a vagina. So I mentioned that she's going to be out on her ass within a year, maybe 2. Now that's hitting the limelight, and Leon said, no, she won't. That's where I'm like, no, that's not how it works, bud. That's now that's hitting the limelight. Wow. She's going to be out on her ass. So
interesting.
Yeah, like you can't attack the fans like that, especially with like the Japanese when they do anime. Like that's totally
they take
disrespectful. Yeah, that's So, but yeah, and then Sunday, I don't know if we're doing the Bagface, actually, Andrew New Year thing. So I'm kind of waiting to hear back because Andrew was sick and hopefully he's feeling better. But that's me in a nutshell. You'll catch me around. I'll be around. So.
He's like the Gooch. He's everywhere.
I'm everywhere.
He's everywhere.
It's please subscribe to Diabolical Souls and become part of the Gooch Army, apparently. So Gooch. There's a Gooch Army all of a sudden. So
hell yeah.
Yeah.
Gord King, how about you, sir?
Hello. Thanks for having me on, by the way.
Of course.
Thank you to everyone in the chat. I'm obviously working on Rings of Power episode 2. If anyone wants to know why it takes me a while, it's because the laptop I edit from, every time I edit about 1 to 2 minutes worth of stuff, it wants to overheat. It's a piece of crap. So Jesus. I'm operating off of pretty bad hardware, and it's an hour and 5-minute video. So yay. Oof. But anyway, tomorrow I am doing episode 2 of The King's Court. Myself, Lance from Outcast Creative, and Stupenza will be talking about our favorite movies from the 70s. Nice. And next week also we're going to have Vex here on, as well as actually Andrew, where we're going to be placing the MCU films into various tiers, which means means the back end of that catalog of films is going to be a lot of garbage. So that'll be fun.
It's a lot of F's on that fucking tier.
Nice.
Awesome.
I don't think I don't think I'll have letter grades. I think like the bottom will just be like Thanos snap or something.
I actually gotta watch Multiverse of Madness now, and I gotta watch a couple films for.
I have to watch Wakanda Forever for the first time.
Yeah, I haven't seen that.
I can't let my racism get in the way anymore. I gotta watch it.
Oh, you poor bastards!
That's the only one I haven't seen.
Bless your hearts.
I haven't seen Multiverse of Madness. I haven't seen Wakanda Forever, Shang-Chi, Black Widow, The Eternals.
Oh gosh, I feel so
shit movies.
Can I make a suggestion? Get The Eternals out of the way first.
That's like the worst of the worst. It gets a little bit better from there, basically.
It's
not much.
It's
Not
the most
really.
boring. It doesn't get better. It just gets less boring.
You're gonna love it.
Anything watching The Eternals,
especially when you see Aquafina.
I
Shang-Chi
already
is like got decent things about it. It's just still a bad movie.
I already can't stand that dumb fuck. What's his name? Who plays Shang-Chi?
You'll have to narrow it down.
The main, yeah, God, what's the
The
main
guy that plays Shang-Chi.
Yeah.
I thought that was his name.
It might. It's Doom Fu.
Racist.
Yeah, I can't stand that guy. He is fucking everywhere.
Simu Liu.
Thank you. He is
Seaman Liu.
Yeah, Seaman Liu is right.
He's a British cigarette. I can't stand him.
Oh God, I love it.
What about Kim's Convenience?
He was like the worst part of that show, though. He was the only
yeah.
character that didn't actually do anything in there. He just was a fuck boy. That's it.
Speaking of,
he even manages to stand out amongst all the other awfulness in Barbie.
Yeah,
incredible.
I'm so sorry I made you mad by mentioning Kim's Convenience. Like, he was a fuck boy. That's all he was.
Piece of shit. Fuck that guy.
God.
Well, speaking of Vex, what do you got coming up? After yawning.
Hey, that's what you'll do for the Eternals.
Multiple times.
Yeah.
It's a quiet start to the year, I guess. Thursday, I'll be on Roman's channel. We're reviewing The Black Hole, which is a 1979 sci-fi film. I haven't seen it, so I'm going to watch it on Thursday before that.
It's Disney.
Oh, okay. But other than that, that's actually my last stream for the week. And then just keep an eye
Let
on
it
the
out,
gaming
Vex.
channel.
Burp it out, baby.
Sorry.
Burp it out.
Just keep an eye on the gaming channel because I'm gonna revamp that this year now that I'm actually playing games again. Same with my Substack. I'm revamping that as well.
Nice.
Yeah. Speaking of gaming, I have to find a way to get my capture card to co-op with Vex on Gears of War because wow.
There's really nothing to do. What kind of capture card did you get?
It's the Elgato, whatever the fuck. I could do it through my laptop. My laptop actually has
it's lit. The Elgatos are so easy to set up.
It's easy. Yeah, I'm going to.
Steps. It's 2 steps.
Vex guiding me through a game I've never played before is fucking top quality content.
Oh, is that the one that?
Yeah. I got this. Don't worry. And I died.
I just whenever you record, like whenever you default record clips on Xbox, it only records the game because if you're talking in a party, it won't get. But if we were talking in game, it would have captured all of his frustration.
It's fucking, and she's so calm and like, yeah, all right, it's okay, Cannoli. Look, she's like talking to an autistic 4-year-old. It's okay. It's fucking. I love it. I love gaming.
I can't get him. I can't get him. All right.
Yeah,
all right.
she's like, wait,
you
Cannoli,
shoot
come.
the feet, and I'll do the hard work because we spent like fucking 10 minutes trying to kill this dude. And I'm just trying to do the hard part for him. And then, okay, I'll shoot the guy controlling the monster. You shoot the feet.
10
Done in 10 seconds.
It's like, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'll also be on Zach's on Wednesday after my first show. So.
I told you he's everywhere.
Jay's just everywhere.
Time.
White Bear with your wonderful photo of Vex marrying Henry Cavill.
Yeah. Well,
I think that's just normal tech support.
Yeah. No, I do have a tech support picture of Vex, but I'll be making the videos, and yeah, I was sick before New Year's, so unfortunately I couldn't be here with all you fun, happy people and all that. But I did have a video come out for the end of the end of the year. So if you haven't, go to White Bear 2 and check that out and give it a play.
Good. Your stuff's good, my friend. Makes me giggle.
Play with White Bear, please. Well, thank you all to the chat. Awesome. Thanks to the panel again. Goochman, Jay, Gord King, Sassy. Always a pleasure, of course. And then, of course, my co-host. Always fun. It's been 2 weeks. I missed you fuckers. So thank you.
We missed you too.
Thank you. And then next week, we're coming back with Lord of the Rings, the Two Towers, Part 1. It's gonna be
extended cut.
Extended cut. So that's why we're stretching it over 2 weeks. But we have a great panel for that one. Mr. Gooch Boy over here fucking can't leave. Just can't. He can't quit me. He's like, oh, and that too.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah, we have a Price of Reason, Jay Gooch, an amateur analyst for that.
Is
one.
that Sylvester Stallone as Frodo?
Yes, it is. Oh, Bilbo, actually. Sorry.
Yo.
Yo.
Is
I'll
Lance
give you a
supposed to be
wall
there?
for the ring you won't believe.
No, that because I think you were one of the first people we booked for 2024, so it's just kind of first come, first serve. So no, Lance is not on that panel.
You're gonna be on my channel. Just deal with it, Jay. You never
Unless
leave
you're
me.
sleeping with the host, you wiggle your way in.
Well, wiggle something. Anyway, you guys are awesome.
Faster.
Faster and harder, apparently.
Faster.
You guys are awesome. We love you. Thank you to the chat. Thank you, everybody. We'll see you next week for Lord of the Rings. And goodbye.